Okay, I do believe we are live. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the Cobwebs channel's live show this month. It's been a while since I've done one of these. Let me know if there's any issues with the sound or anything like that. Usually there typically isn't, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you notice anything, let me know. Yeah, I'm so excited to do this. I think it's been so I haven't done a live show at all since September, but that was like with a couple other people. So I haven't done a solo live show in like since August. So it just seems like I keep wanting to do it and there keeps being a reason not to. Like I got to do this for, the normal videos to keep the 2 videos a week coming. But so excited to be here today. It's been a bit of a crazy day. My toddler has been an absolute psychopath today. So I'm pretty happy to hang out with you guys now that he is in bed and getting that sleep that he so needs. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to go through the chat and say hi in just a little bit. Basically, the quick rundown for what we're doing. We're going to do like a hangout, a Q&A for those of you who don't know, because it's been a while. That's how most of my live shows are. They're very, very chill, and we'll talk about what you guys want to talk about. I kind of see these as like an opportunity for me to reconnect with you guys, where like, I'm putting out these videos, but eventually, it can almost feel like I'm working in a vacuum. And then these live shows, it kind of feels like I reconnect, recalibrate. So it always feels good. And then I've got a couple of packages that I got from some folks like you that I'm going to unbox those. And I'll show you what I picked up for the Criterion sale haul that Barnes & Noble's doing. It's not a lot, so it's not going to be super exciting. I don't get as much physical media as I used to. I kind of don't like, let's see. I think I like that a little bit better. Yeah, I felt like I was too low in frame. So let me quickly go through the chat and see what everybody's up to. We got William Cinema now. What's up? Hey, man. Yeah, happy Monday night. I don't know if I've ever done a Monday night live show before, so I don't know if this is going to be throwing off people's schedules, but it should be a good time. Hello, Souls Have No Color. Very interesting. Yay, this will be fun. Chat Xmas Horror. Yeah, pretty much like, the full point of this live show isn't necessarily just to talk about Christmas horror, but I'm like, let's start getting hyped up for the holiday season. I'm excited for those Americans out there, fellow Americans like me. Thanksgiving is on Thursday, so I'm excited for that. Actually hosting Thanksgiving at our house this year, so that'll be fun. And then I'm getting hyped up for Christmas. Got a bunch of Christmas decorations back here because I filmed my Christmas video today. So I actually took down some Christmas decorations, so there was more Christmas for that filming, but I neutralized it a little bit for this. But yeah, let's get excited. But the questions can be about anything. So you certainly don't just have to talk about Christmas horror. We could talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. Hello, Wellock Butt. Never caught a live chat before. Excited. Well, welcome. There hasn't been one in a while, so not surprised. We got 123699943. Hi, Daniel. Have you seen The Skin I Live In 2011? Nobody seems to talk about that movie. If it wasn't for what the question was, I might think you were a bot because of the username. But judging by that question, no, I don't think you are. I have seen that. That is a Spanish film. If I remember, I don't think it's a Mexican film. I think it's a Spanish film. I have seen it. It's been a long time. I actually watched it because Chris Stuckman is a big fan and he recommended it back in the day when I was watching his channel a lot. So this was years ago. I still call The Skin I Live In one of the most disturbing movies I have ever seen. Like, it really, really messed me up. And it's about It is about a subject that's one of the most disturbing subjects to me, which is like involuntary surgery. And the other movie that I can think of that I would put into that camp is Tusk, which I absolutely hate Tusk. And also The Human Centipede, which I have never seen and I don't ever plan on seeing it. But something about like somebody doing surgeries on you to like change what you are against your will is so horrifying to me. And that's what that movie is about. And it's so messed up. So not for the faint of heart, but I remember it being like good, but I was just real disturbed. Have you seen Grabbers yet? No, I have not. I think that's an Irish movie. Am I remembering right about like some monsters? One movie that oh man, my screen my StreamYard thing just like disappeared from my monitor. I was like, am I still there? But no, it just minimized all of a sudden. That was weird. Where was I? Oh, another movie that I kind of put in the same category with it. I don't know why, because I haven't seen either of them, is Troll Hunter. And I am planning on watching Troll Hunter very soon for a winter horror movie that I'm doing. But no, Grabbers I still got to get to. Hello, Liminal79. Horror channels don't do unboxing, they do uncoffinings. Let's see, wouldn't that technically be an exhuming, like an exclamation? We're going to do an exclamation. But I like uncoffinings too. I love To All a Good Night and All Through the House for Christmas horror movies. I have not seen To All a Good Night. I think I actually have seen All Through the House. I'm pretty sure I have. That's like a newer one. But I barely remember it, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. R.I.P. Udo Kier, maybe a tribute video from your channel. Yeah, rest in peace to Udo Kier. I actually checked today if I was correct in saying Udo Kier or if he was knighted and he's Sir Udo Kier, because Planet CHH put out a little tribute, just a post like I did, tribute post to him, and he wrote Sir Udo Kier, and I was like, was he knighted? Like, isn't he German? And I checked, no, he wasn't. So I think it was just a title of respect. But yeah, very, very sad. Udo Kier is awesome. I don't know about a tribute video. I've actually never done a video just dedicated to an actor before. The closest is my ranking of all the the Vincent Price, Edgar Allan Poe movies. But even that technically was more focused on Roger Corman than Vincent Price, because one of those doesn't have Vincent Price. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm even knowledgeable about him enough to do that. I mean, like I've seen Blood for Dracula, Flesh for Frankenstein, Mark of the Devil, and then of course he's in Blade. He's probably in a lot of other things that I'm not thinking of, but I don't know if I've quite seen enough to be able to do that. But certainly, yeah, certainly an awesome actor. He was always so entertaining. Like I really love him in Mark of the Devil, because in Mark of the Devil, he's very much playing just the milquetoast, handsome guy lead that's in like every old Gothic horror movie. But because it's Udo Kier, it's way better than normally in those kind of movies where you just get like some boring guy. But here in that movie, you get Udo Kier, and it just elevates the movie so much. Let's see. We got Wellick Butt. Hi, I'm from New York City. Hello, hello. Wow, that is awesome. Chill. Hey, Daniel and everyone. Hello, hello. Mav TN7. How's it going, Daniel? Hello from Nashville. We got some people in some famous cities. I do not live in a famous city, but that's awesome. Good to see you. I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Hope the same for you. Deep Fried Hamsters 3273. Greetings from Bristol in England. Awesome, awesome. Hello. Greetings from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I would consider that a famous city. I've certainly heard of Pittsburgh, even though I don't live anywhere near there. Hi from Adelaide, Australia. Very cool. Let's see. That's like a 14-hour time difference, I think. So it's like 10 o'clock in the morning for you, right? I think I'm right about that. Howdy from Austin, Texas. Hello, hello. Darth Myers. Love that name. Miranda Patton. I feel like I've seen you in the comments a lot lately. Hello, hello. North Carolina. Thank you so much for being here. Anthony Sarkis. Hey, Daniel. A long time Cobwebs viewer and commenter. So thank you so much for being here, Anthony. Penelope Courtney. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Junior Kennard or JR Kennard. Greetings from Seattle, another famous city. Hello, hello. What's the cricket, lads? You guys hearing crickets? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Hello from Adelaide, South Australia. Is that the same person? Or are there two people from Adelaide, Australia? I don't know. Maybe he just logged into his account. Not sure. LBLTX, hello. Hello, Buttercup. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's about. I'm confused. Hello, good evening, Mike. Christine, greetings from New England. Lucky, love New England. That's awesome. Hello, checking in from Southern Illinois. So you're not terribly far from me. Hello, Linda. Good to see you too. Thank you so much for being here. Michael Keene. Hey, Daniel, I'm at work, so I'll watch the replay later. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just want to stop and say hi. What's your favorite Halloween horror movie, and what's your favorite Christmas horror movie? Well, my favorite Halloween horror movie is Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween. The boring choice, but I think the correct choice. And then Christmas, well, I've got a video coming out about that soon, but I'll just go ahead and say it because you asked the question and I appreciate it. Krampus. Krampus is my favorite Christmas horror movie. It's the only Christmas horror movie that I always watch every single Christmas season. And like any other Christmas horror movie, like, I'll cycle them in and out. I'll watch some this year. I'll watch some another year. I'll check out ones I've never seen, but I always watch Krampus because it hits the feels for me of like a Christmas classic, like Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, stuff like that. Like it feels like a cozy holiday season family movie, but then it's also totally works as a horror movie. So it's like the best of all worlds for me. Hello, Spooch123. One of the most consistent commenters, I think. So thank you so much for being here. And it's been a long time too. El Deuterino. Love that. Yes, it is a Monday indeed. Hello, Mel. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it. Hello, Amora. Hey, Jeff. First live stream. Right on. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, Amy from New York. Hey, we got Matt from Facci Cinema. What's going on, man? Any Krampus movie is okay with me. There's like a lot of direct-to-video Krampus movies. And there's like Mother Krampus, and I haven't seen any of those. So I think the only Krampus movies I've seen are Krampus and A Christmas Horror Story. And I think that's it. Hello, Caseman. Greetings from upstate New York. Thank you for hosting this. I'm getting fired up to watch Santa's Sleigh with Goldberg as my go-to fave. I've never seen that one, actually. So thank you for the recommendation. Like, I've heard of it, but I kind of forgot about it. So I forgot to like have it on a watch list. Which Black Christmas is your favorite of the three? Definitely the first one, the boring choice, but the right choice. But I also really like that 2006 one. As I talked about in a video recently, I think it's just insane, but really fun. And I didn't think the 2019 one was bad. Like, I kind of watched it, I think before like the discourse went insane about that movie. So I watched it and I thought it has nothing to do with Black Christmas, but I thought it was a fine, like killer fraternity movie. And then like people got so angry about that movie. And I was like, huh. And I haven't rewatched it, so I don't know. Hello, Mark. Thank you so much for being here. Mark Bessinger. Yes, I've got a package from Mark right down here that I'm going to be unboxing. So that'll be fun. I got it a while ago and finally got around to doing this. Hello, Cax. It's Darren. Okay. Or he's calling me Darren. I'm not sure. From Adelaide. Also from Adelaide, South Australia. That's wild. Oh man. It is my least favorite movie of all time. Like, I can't even tell you. I always say Krampus is the only movie that I just said Krampus because I just read somebody else say Krampus. No, Tusk is the only movie I actually regret watching. Like any other movie, even if I hate it, I don't regret watching it. Like, at least now I know about that movie. But Tusk, I'm like, I wish I didn't see that movie. I really, really hate it. Is that a movie? Philosophy of a Knife? I don't know that one. Let's see. Toka. Hello, Daniel and all. Anybody going to get a Krampus, go to a Krampus Parade Krampus night? I've never heard of one happening anywhere near me. I would love it. It sounds awesome. And my heritage is German. So like, I certainly should. I've never heard of one happening around me, but if one did, I would certainly love to go. Penelope is a fan of Grabbers. Hello, Thomas. Truly one of my OGs. Thank you so much for still being here, Thomas. Good morning here in Nuremberg. Yes, you're also German, I remember. You guys have snow already. How is the weather? Seriously, lately we have had like the most November weather ever. Like, I feel like it is the most quintessential November weather. Like, it's cold, but it's not freezing, but it's cold. It's gloomy. It's cloudy every single day. It rains from time to time, fairly frequently. Like, it's just gloomy, dreary November weather. And you know what? I'm okay with it. It's not bad. Mark Joe, involuntary. Yes, I do want to be clear about that. Involuntary is surgery is the caveat. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people do. And that's totally fine. I think it's a little bit like how it disturbed me in just the right way to where it really bothered me, but also I thought it was a terrible movie. But that's just me, people have different opinions about that. Critters, Gremlins, or Ghoulies? Absolutely Gremlins at the top. I think then I would go Ghoulies, and then I go Critters at the bottom. But I do like Critters 2 better than Critters 1. Critters 1 is just like, it's totally fine. You know, not a bad movie at all, but it's not terribly interesting to me. But Critters 2 is more fun. Um, but then if I were to rank the sequels, I'd go, well, gosh, it's been a while since I've seen Gremlins 2, but I want to say Critters 2, Gremlins 2, but easily Ghoulies 2 at the bottom. I don't really like Ghoulies 2. Let's see. How many 4Ks Blu-rays do you think you buy a year on average? Way less this year than previously. I used to be a pretty robust physical media collector. I'm much less now because I went full time here on YouTube. So, before I threw a lot of YouTube money at Blu-rays because that wasn't my day job money. But also, um, I think I just thought less about money in those days because I had a day job and I had a side hustle and we were just kind of fine. But now that I'm full time on YouTube, I'm a little bit more frugal and I think a lot more about the future in terms of where my money's going. And also I just don't have as much extra spending money on the side. So I buy Blu-rays way, way less now. Now I buy maybe a couple a month, maybe. But I used to buy a lot. I used to buy a lot. I don't know the number, but my wife would just say too many. Let's see. Cax loves Dusk. I truly refuse to watch the Human Centipede movies. It's just not gonna happen. I'm positive I will regret watching those. Oh, I didn't know Udo Kier was in that. I'm planning to watch Cigarette Burns for a video I have coming up soon that it'll fit in perfectly, but I haven't actually seen it. The only John Carpenter things I haven't seen is Cigarette Burns and his Elvis TV movie. So that's my only two watched Carpenters. I didn't know Udo Kier was in that. That's even more exciting. Hello, Jaden. Thank you so much for being here, man. Favorite Christmas horror movie? Krampus, like I said. Also, what do you think of Thanksgiving? I actually just talked about Thanksgiving in a video about November horror movies, and I like it. I didn't love it quite as much as I thought I would, but I also haven't rewatched it yet. And a lot of times with slasher movies, you like it more in a rewatch. I think my thing is I didn't really get into the characters. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're unlikable. I didn't particularly care about them. I also thought it's really gory, but I thought Eli Roth, I don't know. I felt like he could have made that John Carver, the killer, scarier. I was a little bit annoyed at the scene when John Carver feeds the cat. And I was like, I don't want to see this killer feed the cat. I want to see him, I want to see him try to be scary. But then when you think about who he is with the killer reveal, I think that actually does work better in retrospect now that I think about it. But I do like it. It has phenomenal atmosphere. I love the vibe of it so much. I love how much of a Thanksgiving movie it feels like. It has great kills. It has great gore. And I really like Patrick Dempsey in it. He's, my favorite character in it. So I think I gave it a 3 of 5 or 3.5 out of 5, something like that. So good movie. Let's see. I bet I would. Yeah, I notice I tend to really like Irish horror movies. If I find out a movie is from Ireland, I'm like, yeah, I want to watch that. I just tend to be. I think I'm kind of fascinated by Ireland. I just think it's cool. I found a cool hidden gem. It's called Leptirica, aka she butterfly. That is gosh, what country is that from? It's it's not Russia, but it's Russia adjacent or near Russia. I can't remember what country it's from, but yeah, it's good. It's in the Severance first folk horror box set. It's kind of a vampire movie, but weird rural folklore legends about what vampires are. I think it's really cool. I think it's really interesting, and it's kind of fun and funny too in a cool way. My next video that I have coming out Wednesday, that I'm talking about another movie in that folk horror box set, and I think it is the weirdest, craziest movie in that box set. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear about it. It is absolutely wild. We got Buttercup from Philly. Right on. I went to Philly. When was it? It was 2022. I think in 2022 I was in Philadelphia. Yeah. Yeah. I really like Pennsylvania as a whole. Oh man, we got a super chat or just a super sticker, but thank you so much, TJ Fruso. I think that picture is the Abomination from Hulk. I think that's what that is. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That didn't pop up. Maybe it's just because it's a sticker and it's not a super chat. It didn't pop up in a separate super chat thing. So that's funny. Let's see. Texas. My brother lives in Texas, so shout out. Indianapolis. There was a hot sec where my wife thought like, "Do we want to move to Indianapolis?" There were reasons we were thinking about it, but we ended up deciding against it. But let me know if it's great. Let's see. Love Machine. Hello from where babies are made. Well, if you're the Love Machine, I guess that makes sense. Oh, let's see. Adelaide. Oh, Adelaide, South Australia. Let's see. And then there's from the smallest town in Wisconsin. Hey, shout out. I'm a bit of a small town boy at heart, honestly, although I live in more of like a mid-sized town at this point. PMCS Midnight Movies. Hey, glad to be here from Canada. Right on, right on. Thank you so much for being here. Your favorite weapon. Hey, from New Jersey. I found your channel a few months back. It's become one of my favorites. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So I really appreciate all you guys writing in. I think I need to like find some questions in here. Also from Nashville, from New Hampshire. Cool, cool. Let's see. As far as holidays, Halloween hard to beat. Yeah, I mean, Halloween is still my favorite holiday, but I really love Christmas. And I always feel like I'm just starting to I feel like I just love Christmas more every year. And it's probably because of, that's probably has to do with becoming a dad, but like, I just love Christmas. It's just so fun. It's just a good vibe. It's the United States government. Longtime viewer. Thank you so much for being here. Daniel, we here at the United States government would like to thank you for your service to this country. You are so welcome. Oh, we got a super chat. I'm trying to. Okay, it's not letting me like click into it, so I'm just gonna have to scroll down and find it. There it is. Okay. The Dom Coquero for $5. Thank you so much for the contribution. I really, really appreciate it. How can I contact you about placing ads in your videos? You can contact me at cobwebspodcast@gmail.com. It's also in my bio on the channel. I have like for business inquiries, contact cobwebspodcast@gmail.com. Reason it's Cobwebs Podcast is because I originally did the Cobwebs Podcast and I created the email then, and then I created the Cobwebs channel, and this took off much more than the podcast did. But that's why that is. But yeah, can't promise anything, but yeah, I'll be happy to read what you got. Let's see. Michael Keene had a second question before I have to go. As I believe I mentioned to you, you inspired me to make my own YouTube videos. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. Any advice for smaller channel? Yeah, I do. I really think that when you're a small channel, your main focus should just be in experimentation and just try stuff, because I think very few people know like what their channel is going to be when they first start. Like, you know what you want it to be, but you don't know that that's what it's going to turn out to be, because you don't really know what people want. You don't really know what's going to hit with people. You also don't really know what you're good at, or even necessarily like what you enjoy doing. Like, you'll kind of just discover all of this through experimentation. So my channel changed several times as I just tried different stuff, and some things hit, some things didn't, some things worked out, some things didn't. And I got kind of lucky in that I discovered these like recommendation lists and ranking lists. And I discovered, well, this is what people watch the most. And it also seems to be, it's also what I enjoy making the most, or my favorite kind of videos to make. And it took a while, but I ended up just kind of just running with that and just making that the channel. So I would recommend experimenting, trying a lot of different things. Don't worry about views for a while, honestly. And anything else I would say? I don't know what, I haven't seen your channel yet, so I don't know about like your gear or how it looks, but pay attention to how it looks, how it sounds. I would say edit. Some people don't want to do editing. It's all just one take and they just sit and talk, and that's fine. But I do think like your mass appeal is going to be a lot lower because most people want something a little bit more exciting to watch. I would recommend getting good at video editing, and just, learning skills. But you may not need, you may have a background in videography and editing, so you may already have those skills. I don't know. But I would recommend experiment and learn skills and focus on that for a while and have fun. Like, you got to have fun with this because it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. It's got to be something you enjoy. Let's see, Christine, how do you feel about Del Toro Frankenstein? It's funny. I feel like I've talked about that movie a lot, even though I've technically not made a video on it. But I just made a long post about it, and I talked about it adjacently in one video, talking about a different Frankenstein adaptation. I keep thinking I want to do like a deep dive analysis review on it, even though I don't really do those anymore. But I keep thinking like I want to do it for that one. Maybe I'll do it in December and put it out around Christmas because I figure any video I put out around Christmas is not going to be successful. So I might as well try something different than I usually do. So I may do that, but because I have a lot to say about it and like a lot of it in detail because I have certain criticisms of it and I put out some kind of vague criticism, like kind of got into it in like a post, but I noticed a lot of people in the comments like really mischaracterized what I was saying. And I thought like, I think if I talk about this in a video, it's got to be like in depth and I've really got to get specific. But in a generic sense, I do like it. I think it's good, but my expectations were sky high. And people could say that that's a problem, that my expectations shouldn't have been so high. But I think my expectations were perfectly appropriate because it's a Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein movie. Like it should be incredible. It should be my personal favorite movie of the year because I love Frankenstein so much. I love period piece gothic horror. And I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. I know he's a little bit divisive. I love del Toro. I love most of his movies. So like, I think I was right to expect the world from it. And I don't, and I just felt like it was good, not great. And I think it just has some script issues. And I almost wondered, like, am I crazy? But I was chatting with Evan at Rockland Graves, and he had much the same criticism. So that made me feel like, okay, like maybe I'm not crazy for seeing these things. But I'd like to watch it again. I'd like to put out a deep dive review. I miss doing the deep dive reviews. It's just hard when you do this full time. It's hard to justify putting in that much time and effort as those take for a video that's probably not going to do as well because YouTube is just, it's hard to switch the kind of videos that you do. But like I said, maybe I'll put it out around Christmas and I feel like anything I put around Christmas is going to bomb anyway. So I might as well. I'm kind of curious. Let's see if what anybody was saying in the chat. When I saw that Frankenstein looked like an engineer, I immediately lost interest. Oh, I get what you're saying. You mean the monster looks like the engineer from Prometheus? I didn't even make that connection, but you're right. He doesn't look like that the whole time, but he does look like that at the beginning. When I first saw the image online of that look of the monster, like my heart sank a little bit. I was like, oh no, like I don't want that. but he does, his look changes throughout the movie. And I was okay with the look. He's just a little pretty for me. I just don't want him to be that pretty. That's kind of, and I think that is what Del Toro wanted. Like he wanted more of a beautiful innocent. And you hear him talk about it in interviews, and that's what he's going for. It's not really what I want. Like I think when I'm thinking about a good-natured Frankenstein monster on screen who's very human, I think about Clancy Brown in The Bride. The Bride is a movie from the 80s, and Clancy Brown plays the monster. And like Clancy Brown he's just perfect for that kind of thing. Like he doesn't even need that much makeup and I buy him as the Frankenstein monster. But yeah, I don't know. I thought Jacob Elordi's performance was very good and I loved his voice. He had a great voice. But yeah, I had a little bit trouble getting past the prettiness. I don't know. Maybe that's a bias. I thought the Del Toro Frankenstein was beautifully shot. I thought the rollout was terrible. Oh my God, seriously. Terrible. I was so frustrated because like I was sky high excited for Del Toro's Frankenstein and then it came out in theaters. I couldn't see it, didn't play anywhere near me. I kept waiting for it to show up at theater near me. It never happened. And by the time it hit Netflix, I was actually a little bit less excited by that point because I almost felt like I got a lot of the excitement beat out of me by just so much disappointment. So yeah, the rollout was terrible. Like it's kind of annoying that I don't really know what's more popular, Del Toro's Frankenstein or Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. The vibe I'm feeling online, it kind of feels like Del Toro's Frankenstein is more popular. But it's hard to compare with their different releases because Nosferatu made a lot of money. It was a very successful movie financially. It did great in theaters. But you can't compare that with Frankenstein because it barely got a theatrical release. So I don't really know how you can compare them. But it kind of feels like the vibe is more popular for Frankenstein, but maybe that's because it's just more recent and maybe it'll even out. I'm just not sure about that. Hello, Stacy from Florida. I feel like Del Toro's Frankenstein is one I'll end up loving more once I rewatch it. Could totally be the case. Yeah. And honestly, I would love that. I would love it if I rewatched it and I was like, oh, this movie is perfect. Like I don't know what I was thinking before. That'd be awesome. That'd be best case scenario. But yeah, I'll see. I'll have to rewatch it. I'm just not that I'm not that hyped to rewatch it. That's kind of my problem. Because I don't know. I know a lot of people disagree. A lot of people don't like Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, but I feel like Robert Eggers' Nosferatu is like it's very dark, it's very serious, it's very grim, but it's like kind of fun and like it has like so much energy and it has like really interesting characters and interesting character interactions. And Frankenstein is very like fever pitched. It is like everything's turned up, but I almost feel like the characters are a little bit less exciting. I don't know. I'll have to watch it again. Let's see. This kind of content I live for makes my wife roll her eyes. I'm talking myself into it. I think I'll do it. I think I'll do it around Christmas. Have you seen the movie Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost? I don't think I have, but that sounds great. I love Scooby-Doo, but you know, there's so many Scooby-Doo movies. I certainly haven't seen them all. Excuse me. Got a hiccup. I'm just happy we live in an era where they're making true period piece horror movies. I totally agree. I absolutely agree. And you know, for a while, every new period piece gothic horror movie was basically an action movie. You know, you got Dracula Untold, you got I Frankenstein, you got the Tom Cruise The Mummy. And I'm so glad we've gotten back to them being like filmmakers are treating these stories like they're important, and that's beautiful. I love that. And now I'm super hyped for Robert Eggers' Werewolf. Like, I feel like that's gonna knock my socks off. It's gonna be awesome. Have you seen Mercy Christmas? I've never heard of it. Pretty fun Christmas horror comedy. Cool. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I've never heard of that. Yes, I have seen Anna and the Apocalypse. Yeah, it's not on my Christmas horror list because I don't remember it well enough to talk about it, and I didn't get around to rewatching it. And also, like, I didn't love it, so I'm not like hyped to rewatch it. But I remember enjoying it, and yeah, it's a musical, and I actually do like musicals. I remember it being fun. I don't remember loving it, but I remember it being fun. Frankenstein True Story. Yes. I think it's less underrated and it's more just underseen because it's a 3-hour TV miniseries from the 70s. So a lot of people haven't seen it. But I finally watched it a year or two ago, and I think it's incredible. Like I just love it. I compare Del Toro's Frankenstein with that a lot. And I think a lot of the things Del Toro's Frankenstein is going for are better pulled off in Frankenstein, the True Story. Has anyone seen Silent Night, Bloody Night? I heard of that. Have not seen it. So yeah, I've heard of that one. Yes, me too. Big Nosferatu fan. I actually like the look, and you know, I kind of understand now the people who are just like, yeah, I get that that Count Orlok's look in that like is book accurate, historically accurate, but I just don't like it. Like I get it now because that's kind of how I feel about Jacob Elordi Frankenstein, where I'm like, I get it. It makes sense. But I'm just not vibing with it. It's just kind of my problem. But yeah, I like Orlok's look, but I know a lot of people don't. Besides The Evil Within, it'd be cool for you to do a feature on House. Oh, the Japanese House. You know, that's one I've seen. I saw it once. That's one where I think I have to admit it's too weird for even me. Like it was so crazy, it was so bonkers that like I couldn't grasp it. Like I could not connect with it in any way. Maybe I would get it more in a rewatch, who knows, but I didn't vibe with it. I've not seen that, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I have seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and I thought it was pretty bad. So I never got around to Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but maybe it's better. You guys will have to let me know. In my online movie sphere, Nosferatu is more loved over Frankenstein. Okay, I think I got a biased view because I came out loving Nosferatu, so I got a lot of critics coming at me. And then I came out not loving Frankenstein, so I got a lot of defenders coming at me. So I think like I got a little bit of a skewed perspective but that's interesting to know. Oh, let's see. Have you ever seen Wind Chill? Dude, that's insane that you said that. I watched that last night. I watched Wind Chill last night for the first time. That's absolutely insane that you brought that up. Yeah, I liked it. It's going to be talked about in. I'm doing another winter horror movies list, early December, and I'm going to talk about it there. But yeah, it was good. It's cool that Emily Blunt has been relevant for so long. Like that. That was 2007, and she had a lead role, and she's still doing lead roles today. She's awesome. I'm a big fan of her. Yeah, Eggers is my boy. I feel like my boys right now are Robert Eggers and Osgood Perkins. I'm loving Osgood Perkins right now. Mike Flanagan used to be one of my top boys, and I guess he still is, but he's just not doing as much right now. But he is going to be doing the next Exorcist, so I'll probably call him one of my boys again when that comes out. But yeah, it's just been a while. I need something new from him. I want to see Ghost Story again. Oh yeah, the one with Fred Astaire. Yeah, that's a good snowy horror movie. Christmas Evil is going to get love in my Christmas video coming out on Sunday. I just rewatched it, and yeah, it is. It's very good, but it was hard for me to rank it that high because it's not fun. And I am not saying horror movies need to be fun, but I do feel like with Christmas horror movies, I gravitate more towards the fun ones because I think like Christmas is just like a fun vibe for me, and that's just kind of what I want. But Christmas Evil is very dark. It's kind of depressing. But it's good. Like it is very good. It's very interesting. Fascinating character study. Really interesting look at like what the Santa Claus legend would be like if a normal guy did it. And you just see how creepy it is. It's like if this isn't a magical being, it's really disturbing. And that's what Christmas Evil shows you. You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure I've seen Dead Snow, but I like don't remember it at all. But I'm pretty positive I watched it, but I don't even remember if I liked it. So I guess I'm due for a rewatch. Saw over 70 horror movies for October. Nice. I respect it. All first time views, most classics. 1978's The Mafu Cage was the best. The Mafu Cage. I've never heard of it. I'm Googling it. Also released. Okay, so The Mafu Cage also released as My Sister, My Love, Deviation, and Don't Ring the Doorbell. What a wild title. Okay, interesting. I'll have to look that up. Let's see. Cameo in my horror film. I mean, if it doesn't require me to fly somewhere, like you want me to send something in, let me know. Email me at cobwebspodcast@gmail.com. I would love to pop up in a horror movie the way like Spooky Astronauts did in Shelby Oaks. It'd be fun. Will you watch Until Dawn and Primitive War for your 2025 horror ranking? Until Dawn is one of my favorites for the past few years. I'll try to get to it. Yeah, I haven't seen either of them yet. I'm curious about Until Dawn. I think it's on Netflix, so it'd be super easy to watch. Also, Wind Chill is on Netflix, so that's where I watched it last night. I've now got to the point where it's a shock if I want to watch a movie and I look up where it's streaming and I see it's on Netflix. Like Netflix never has any of the movies I'm looking to watch anymore. And I'm like, it's on Netflix? All right, cool. I always like to watch things on Netflix because of all the streaming services, they have the best subtitles. So I give them respect for that. So yeah, I'll do my best to check out Until Dawn. I will say that. Yeah, Silent Night, Bloody Night. Never seen it. I'll have to get to it. Do you think Dracula 1992 will ever be bettered? The funny thing is, I don't feel like it. Gosh, I don't feel like it needs to be bettered. Like because I just don't think it needs. But then Nosferatu came out, which is basically the same thing, and I think is in the conversation for being better. I know a lot of people who would say that it's better than Dracula 1992, but for me, I have to pick Dracula 1992. It's hard for me to imagine it getting bettered. That's not to say, but you never know. It could happen. But I think it's going to have to be a while though, because especially since Robert Eggers just did it, I'm not really interested in seeing another person take on the traditional Dracula story for a while. Although I am curious about seeing that new Dracula movie that I think Luc Besson did, but that's not like a traditional Dracula movie, so that's kind of different. Daniel, have you watched any of the Dan Curtis TV films? Yes, the Dracula one with Jack Palance. I didn't like it. I thought it was really dull. I mean, just my personal opinion, I think a lot of it came down to the fact that I just don't like Jack Palance as Dracula because I think he's not the right guy to be Dracula because Dracula is just this ultra confident, ultra powerful ancient creature. And Jack Palance is at his best when he's just being kind of a scumbag, just kind of being a sleazeball bad guy. And like, that's not Dracula. It's just different. And I didn't like him as Dracula. And then I felt like it was a very standard version of the story, but just I've seen so many other versions do that better. So I had trouble getting into it. But I've not seen his Jekyll and Hyde. And I am curious because I think Jack Palance makes way more sense as Jekyll and Hyde than Dracula. Like I could totally see him doing both those roles well. So I do need to check it out. Highly curious. Uh, that's the best recommendation for Houseu I can imagine. Definitely got to watch it now. Yeah, even too weird for the Cobwebs channel. That's Houseu. Um, no, I've not seen Something Evil with Darren McGavin, but I do like Darren McGavin. I've not seen They Look Like People. I know Kanan from Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm pretty sure he's a big fan of it, but I haven't seen it myself. Daniel, how about Thanksgiving for one last fall movie before the winter really arrives? I gotta tell you, I know it's still technically fall. It doesn't look like fall where I live anymore. Like pretty much all the leaves are gone and it's gloomy all the time. We had the shortest fall this year. It was crazy. It started so late and as of like a week ago, it's basically gone. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I've not seen Thanksgiving. It really doesn't look like my thing. It really doesn't. I'm not a big like trauma guy, but I'm sure one of these days I'll do like an official Thanksgiving horror movies list. But I just haven't done it. So far I've just been leaving it to Chase at AVA Pop Culture. He's kind of rocking that niche right now. Wind Chill is so sick. Yeah, it's so cold. That's what it is. That movie just makes you feel cold in your bones. That is one of the coldest movies ever. I've not seen Happy Hell Night. Clearly, there's a lot of Christmas horror movies I got to get around to. So even though putting out top 15 best Christmas horror movies on Sunday, but I'll easily be able to do later like 10 underrated Christmas horror movies and watch a bunch more. It's a really deep subgenre. No, I haven't. I've always been like aware of it because I remember commercials for it back in the day and stuff. But it doesn't really look like my thing. It looks like a, you know, sexy vampire show. And I'm not really a sexy vampire show guy. So I don't know if it's for me. Let's see. Is Blood Rage the quintessential Thanksgiving horror? I feel like it is to me. You could argue it is because of time, because it's been the quintessential Thanksgiving horror movie for so long that like you could argue it's there by seniority. For me, I think it's been replaced by Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. Not because Thanksgiving is better, because I don't think it is. I actually like Blood Rage better, but the atmosphere is so much more on point for Thanksgiving. Blood Rage is a Thanksgiving movie. It doesn't really look particularly Thanksgiving. It doesn't look like a fall. There's not a lot of like Thanksgiving decorations. There's not a lot of attention to the holiday. There's some, there's Thanksgiving dinner. It's not cranberry sauce, but it doesn't really lean into the holiday a lot. Not near as much as Thanksgiving does. It's kind of like comparing, oh gosh, what's a good example? I was thinking about comparing like, Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat to, oh, you know what? Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat to Trick or Treat from the 80s. The Trick or Treat is 1,000 times more Halloweeny than Trick or Treat is. Even if you do like Trick or Treat better, Trick or Treat is so much more of a Halloween movie. It's kind of like that. Although I would argue Blood Rage is more of a Thanksgiving movie than Trick or Treat is a Halloween movie. But now we're getting into semantics. Wait, what? Mike Flanagan is doing a Carrie miniseries? Really? I don't know how I haven't heard that. That's wild. I'm very curious. I mean, it's hard for me to imagine the 70s one being topped, but that's wild that I never heard about that. That's crazy. Let's see. Colin says, wasn't a fan of Keeper. Thought the script was way too obvious for the ominous tone. What did you think about it? I was a big fan of it because it's so bonkers insane. Like that movie is so crazy. I had a great time with it. A fantastic, fantastic time. I don't think the script is great. I had a lot of questions by the end of it, like, how does this work? And like, I don't think it's airtight. I don't think it all makes sense, but I really don't care. Because like, I don't need my bonkers, insane horror movies to make perfect sense. And that's what that movie was to me. It just like kept topping itself and how freaky it was getting. So I thought it was just so effective at being freaky, creepy, crazy. So I was a big fan. They just announced ScarJo is going to be in Flanagan's The Exorcist. Interesting. I feel like she's getting brought into franchises a lot. Like she was just in the new Jurassic Park and now she's going to be in the new Exorcist. I could see it. I mean, she's a fantastic actress. She's probably going to, I don't know. I was going to say she's probably going to be like the mom of the possessed kid, but I don't know if Flanagan's going to do that. Like he's a unique guy. So I feel like he's going to take it in a different direction, but I don't know what it could be. So we'll see, but she's a great actress. So I'm down. I'm down for it. 2011 Silent Night Deadly Night remake. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody over on the Patreon about that. I kind of forgot about that movie. I've not seen it, but it used to be a movie that like was kind of on my watch list. Like I got to check that out some Christmas. And I think for the past couple of years, I forgot it existed because like I'm looking forward to the new Silent Night Deadly Night remake. I keep getting these hiccups. I'm looking forward to the new Silent Night Deadly Night remake, and I forgot that there already was one, so I need to check it out. I'm really excited for the new one though, because I love that actor from Halloween Ends, and he just seems like the perfect Billy. He's gonna be great. Okay, Daximus Prime. So hey Daniel, really recently found your channel, really enjoying your content. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Christmas Bloody Christmas. I watched it when it first came out and like I had mixed feelings on it. So I feel like if I rewatch it, I could fall in either direction. Like there were some things I loved about it, some things that did not work for me, and I was a little bit conflicted. But I am curious to rewatch it because it has a great look. It is a really, really good, just like Christmas lights everywhere kind of look to it. I respect that. Also, one thing that was like almost too much for me is the extent to which the dialogue is so unbelievably profane, like both in just like language and just the things that they're saying. Like it is an adult dialogue to an extreme. And I felt like how a lot of people feel when they watch Rob Zombie movies. Like I'm pretty okay with Rob Zombie dialogue. It doesn't really bother me, but like, I felt like Christmas Bloody Christmas dialogue was beyond that. But then I looked up the lead actress of that movie and I saw that mostly her other work is a lot of Hallmark movies, like Hallmark Christmas movies. And I thought, you know what? I'm really happy for her that she got to do this movie. Like, I feel like she got to let off some steam. Like she's in these ultra squeaky clean movies. And then she got to be in one of the most like profane Christmas movies ever made. And that probably felt good. So I respect it. Oh, let's see. What are we thinking about Crystal Lake? I mean, there was a boy that drowned in that lake because counselors weren't paying attention. They were too busy making love. Okay, anyway, I assume you're talking about the TV show coming out. Here's the thing, guys. Whenever a horror franchise gets turned into a TV show, I don't have time. Like, I just can't watch TV shows unless I'm watching it with my wife. So it has to be something that she's into. That's like the only way I can justify making time for TV shows. So like Welcome to Derry. I'm a fan of the It franchise, but I just can't. I just cannot. I don't have the time to watch it. I can't like put out I was going to say like, I can't put out a video per episode of TV shows the way like Cody Leach can and get views based on that. But also like, I'm just not a TV show guy. I'm just not that into shows. Like I'm so much a movie guy. Like that's what my interest is. So I probably won't watch it, but also it's not going to have Jason in it. So I'm not really that interested anyway. Have you seen Better Watch Out? Yes. I saw it a long time ago, but I also just rewatched it because I will be talking about it on Sunday. So you can look forward to that. Yes, I am a big fan of Violent Night. I do maintain, and some people deny this, I do maintain that is not a horror movie. I say Violent Night is an action movie through and through. It is a Die Hard style, John Wick style action movie with extreme violence, but still. So it's not going to be on my Christmas horror list because I don't think it's a horror movie at all. But I think it's awesome and I'm a big fan of it. Netflix is trash. Yeah, in terms of selection, yes. But in terms of video quality and subtitles quality, they might be the best streaming service, which makes it kind of hurt that their their selection is so not my thing for the most part. Thanks for mentioning Session 9 on one of your lists. Super underrated creepy film like the modern Shining. Yeah, oh, I'm a huge fan of Session 9. I discovered that early this year, like maybe in January, something like that. And man, I just loved it. Oh, we got another big fan of Until Dawn. I remember I thought Until Dawn was pretty much disliked, but it doesn't really matter for me because I like a lot of disliked movies. But it's cool that we got a couple of defenders in here. Weapons followed by 28 years later or tops. Okay, so you and I definitely vibe then because Weapons and 28 years later are two of my favorites of the year. So I definitely got to check out Until Dawn. Have you watched The House That Jack Built? No, but it's on my list for disturbing horror movies I'm a little bit scared to watch, but also I do want to watch. So that's one that I do intend to see. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I think the thing that's intimidating about that movie is one, it's supposedly really sick and twisted, but two, it's really long. Like one reason I pretty easily put on Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer this year is it's like 80 minutes. So I was like, even if this is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen, it's not going to be disturbing for very long. So I'll go ahead and put it on. And then I loved it. I thought Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer was awesome. But House of Jack Bill's like 2.5 hours long. And I'm like, man, 2.5 hours of that? I don't know. But I do want to watch it. I'm just not sure when I'll get to it. Yes. Somebody asked if I've seen The Burbs, 1989 with Tom Hanks. It is my favorite 80s comedy. And I know it's a bold take, but I feel very confident about saying that. Like of all the 80s comedies, The Burbs is tops for me. I think it is a perfect movie. It's so good. Yeah, I've never seen Dan Curtis Dead of Night. I also don't really know what it is. Like I've seen, the 1940s Dead of Night, but I don't know is it a remake? Like I've seen the poster around, but I've never looked into exactly what it is. No, I've never seen the League of. Is that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or just League of Gentlemen? Because I saw the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie when I was a kid, but yeah, I've never heard of the show. That I do need to get to. People recommend that to me a lot. The 1977 version of Dracula with Louis Jordan. A lot of people say it's the most faithful adaptation of the book. A lot of people get on to me because I say that the Coppola Dracula is the most faithful movie to the book. And then they point that out. But I'm like, whoa, 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 that's a miniseries. I still maintain that the Coppola movie is the most faithful movie to Bram Stoker's Dracula. But I acknowledge probably a miniseries that's more faithful, so I do need to check it out. I think the one thing that's held me back is I don't really see the casting of Louis Jordan as Dracula, but I thought the same thing about Gary Oldman as Dracula, and then I saw that, and that was great. So I will check it out. Yeah, I'm with you. He's not Dracula to me, but Jekyll and Hyde makes sense, so I will check that out. What are top 3 movies you're looking forward to seeing in 2026? Oh, geez. I'm not sure what's coming out. I will say, and I said it this year too, but it didn't come out, and I'll see if it comes out next year. If it comes out, my most anticipated movie is James Wan's Call of Cthulhu. James Wan is supposedly making a Call of Cthulhu adaptation, and I can't imagine how fascinating that is going to be. So that is my most anticipated, assuming it does come out next year as it was supposed to come out this year. But other than that, like, I'm not sure what's coming out. I mean, I think 28 years later, The Bone Collector is coming out. That's got to be a highly anticipated one. But usually my favorite horror movies of every year are movies that like I have no idea they exist until a couple of months before they come out because they're just little smaller movies, and then they get distribution, they get thrown out in theaters, and they end up being some of my favorites. So we'll see. What I'm trying to think like what comic book movies are coming out. Well, I think Avengers Doomsday is coming out, right? And Spider-Man 4, like the fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. So looking forward to those. Not the biggest Marvel guy anymore, but I'm always curious to see a new Avengers movie, especially, with Doctor Doom and everything. So that, that's got to be up there, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at a list. But Call of Cthulhu if it comes out. I've never seen Bedeviled. I do need to catch up on more South Korean movies. Usually they tend to be very good, but I haven't seen most of them, of course. Let's see. Yeah, somebody pointed out that Inside is technically a Christmas movie. I went back and forth on whether to put that on my Christmas list or not. I decided not to because it really is just a Christmas movie because it takes place on Christmas Eve. But like there's nothing Christmas in the plot. For the most part, you hardly see any decorations. So like it doesn't have a Christmas vibe at all. Um, so I decided to leave it off because like I decided not to count movies that just technically take place on Christmas. But quality wise alone, it would have been on there because I do think it's very good. Oh boy, Foul Owl says, "What an incredibly unwelcoming stream." I'm guessing I missed your comment. I do apologize. I mean, we got about 160 people in here, and I'm doing my best, but I am a staff of one, and I'm bound to miss things. So, apologies. If I see you got any other questions in there, though, I'll take a look at them. Let's see. I have seen Rubber. Was not a big fan. Not really my thing, but it's a movie it's a movie that like, for the first 20 minutes or so I was like, "Whoa, this is weird. This is interesting." But then it just keeps going and going. And I'm like, I feel like the joke ran out of steam for real. So yeah, not really my thing. Let's see. I haven't watched Good Boy yet. I am curious about it. I've heard pretty good things and it just sounds interesting. It's a haunted house movie all from the perspective of a dog. So, which like, I think at one point I would have said, well, that sounds boring. I don't want to just follow a dog around for a whole movie. But after I saw, In a Violent Nature, I mean, that's kind of the same thing where you follow around a voiceless character that just walks around. And I imagine the dog probably has a lot more personality than Johnny does in A Violent Nature. So I'm down to watch an experiment like that now, for sure. Let's see. What's the scariest, creepiest black and white, wintry, snowy horror movie you've seen? I was thinking about this a lot actually because I was doing that winter horror movies list and I really wanted a black and white movie in there because I love the vibe of black and white snowy movies. But there really aren't a lot of snowy black and white horror movies. Most of the snowy movies from that era are not horror movies. So like the only one I can think of is The Abominable Snowman, the Hammer movie from 1957, I believe, which I talked about in last year's winter horror movie video. That's the only one I can think of. I believe Curse of the Cat People has some snowy stuff. Been a long time since I've seen that though, so I'd have to rewatch it to get more into it. But I remember liking it. And those are the only two I can think of. So if you guys know any more black and white wintry horror movies, especially if they were actually made in the black and white era. Like if they're a modern black and white movie, that's fine, but I'm a little bit more interested in actually old Hollywood era. Maybe no, I don't think that is snowiness. Yeah, let me know. Oh, Mike Barrett. I love those movies. What are your thoughts on Vampire Lovers, Twins of Evil, and Lust of a Vampire? So, Twins of Evil, one of my favorite Hammer movies, one of my favorite vampire movies of all time. So awesome. Vampire Lovers, really good. I mean, Ingrid Pitt, awesome performance. Lust of a Vampire is by far the least of them. It's kind of like the dumb, trashy one, but I like it. I still like it. I think it's a fun movie. Oh, let's see. Okay, we got another super chat. 4.99 from Boner Jams. What is that from? That's a joke from a movie. Somebody like has like made a mixtape and it's like called Boner Jams. I can't remember what movie that is. Okay. Love the channel, my man. Thank you. Keep making the list and we'll be here to watch. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I will keep making the list because I love making them. They're so fun. The lists really like are pretty perfect for me because my favorite thing to do is check out movies I've never seen. That's my favorite thing about movies. So making those lists, like I always have a list of like movies I've never seen. I'm going to check out for that one. And it's just fun. Okay, we've got somebody putting some profanities in here, and well, not nice profanities, mean profanities. So I'm gonna go ahead and block that person. So sorry, everybody. All right, let's see. Daniel, I think I've watched all your videos. Ooh, here we go. I never heard you discuss The Descent. Any opinion of that movie? I've never discussed it. Um, that is one of the top movies that like I want to love and I don't. I've seen it twice, and the funny thing is, the second time I saw it, I actually got to see it in the theater. So I thought if anything's going to get me to love that movie, it's going to be seeing it in the theater, and I still didn't. I'm just not scared by that movie. And like I really want to be because everybody talks about it. It's one of the scariest movies ever made. And I just don't feel it. I don't know. Like it's really dark, you know, a lot of shaky cam. A lot of times it's hard to see what's going on. You know, a lot of screaming in the dark and it just I don't know. Like I just don't feel it. The cave guys look amazing. There's definitely some claustrophobia stuff as they're going into the cave. I am planning on doing a like my top horror movies of the 2000s video because I've done from the 1930s to the 90s and I want to keep going, so I'll do the 2000s. And I'm planning on watching The Descent again before I make that video because I want to be absolutely sure, because I know if The Descent is not on there, people are going to be mad, and I want to be positive. I want to be absolutely positive that that's something I have to do. So we'll see, because the last time I watched it was a really long time ago. It was the first time that I went to a 24-hour marathon in Chicago. It was my first year doing that. That's when I saw it in a theater. And that was probably 2017, I want to say. So it's been a long time. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. I'm kind of scrolling down. I want to see if anybody. Oh, here we go. I want to see if anybody had anything to say about The Descent. I hate The Descent myself. It should work. The concept is great, but I just don't like it. It's another victim of the frenetic, confusing jump cut editing most movies of that time also suffer. Yeah, that's how I felt too. I'm also just not a what's that director's name? I almost said Neil Jordan, but it's not Neil Jordan, the director of that movie. I want to say it's Neil something. But anyway, he's just not my guy. You know, he also made Dog Soldiers, which I ended up coming around on some. I still don't love it, but I liked it a lot better than the first time I watched it. But then he made like the Hellboy remake, not really a remake, another Hellboy movie, which I think is maybe one of the worst movies ever made. Like yeah, that's his name, Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall's Hellboy is it's like another level of terrible in my eyes. So yeah, he's just not my guy. Yeah, most people love The Descent. And that's what makes me feel like why I don't know why I don't. Cuz like my buddy that I went to that marathon with, his favorite movie that played was The Descent. That was his favorite experience of the whole night, the whole day. And I was just like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. What? Ty West's adaptation of A Christmas Carol? Have not heard of that. I have heard Robert Eggers is potentially doing A Christmas Carol, but he's potentially doing a lot of things, so I'm not totally sure which ones to take seriously. I'm totally down for Robert Eggers' Christmas Carol. Ty West Christmas Carol, that doesn't feel like his kind of thing. I'm curious. Don't love the idea of Johnny Depp doing it. We'll see. We shall see. Somebody else says that Descent is overrated. Yeah, and the last time I watched Dog Soldiers, I definitely liked it better. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5. But it's still like Neil Marshall, you know, when you watch a lot of movies, you just kind of figure out there are some directors that I just really vibe with. Like we just share a lot of taste. They just do the kind of thing I like. Like I really feel that way about Osgood Perkins right now. Like I'm just on his wavelength, and everything he does, I'm like, that's exactly to my taste. And Neil Marshall is not one of those guys at all. Like everything he does, I'm like, this isn't my vibe. Daniel, where'd you get that Dracula bust? Actually at Michael's. It was 2 years ago. So not this last Halloween, but 2 years ago. They had 3 busts like that. They had Dracula, they had Edgar Allan Poe, which is right back there. And they also had Frankenstein. I didn't buy Frankenstein because honestly, I have a lot of Frankenstein stuff. I was like, I don't really need another Frankenstein. But yeah, those 2 I got and I love them. I love putting them in my background. What's your favorite episode of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities? Mine was Lot 36. I did not finish that show. That was kind of a hard show to finish because like I mean, not because it wasn't good, but because like it's anthology, so you can kind of just drop off and you just kind of forget to go back. But I think I also didn't like the last couple that I watched. But my favorite one is Graveyard Rats. I think, if unless I'm forgetting another one. But yeah, I think it was Graveyard Rats. That movie just that was fun. Just a crazy monster graveyard atmosphere kind of thing. Good times. Let's see. Oh man, I have not seen The Elephant Man. That's one of the top like great classics of cinema that I'm meaning to get to, and I still haven't got to. Anyone know anything about Lee Cronin's The Mummy? I really want somebody to do another Mummy movie, so I'd be down. I can't remember who Lee Cronin is. Is he the guy that did like an Evil Dead movie? Yes, he did Evil Dead Rise. Oh, he's an Irish filmmaker, so I tend to like Irish movies. I'm down. I think who was it? My buddy Chris. We were just talking about how we want another Mummy movie, and I think we were talking about maybe like Osgood Perkins. Actually, he might be a good one to do it. Maybe we were talking about somebody else. But yeah, I would love another horror Mummy movie. There is potentially going to be a um a Mummy 4 with Brendan Fraser coming. And I'm excited for that for sure. Love Brendan Fraser. And Rachel Weisz is going to come back. She didn't come back for the third one, so that's awesome. But I want like a creepy, scary Mummy movie again. It's been so long. And maybe Lee Cronin's the guy to do it, so that would be exciting. Here we go. Let's see. What did you think of Chris Stuckman's Shelby Oaks? I watched it with the wife last night and was impressed. Very good debut film. That's good to hear. Gosh, the discourse about that movie was just insufferable. Um, I loved it. I thought it was just like, for me, it was the scariest movie of the year. And I had some people get really mad at me for saying that because there's a lot of bias out there about Chris Stuckman, and people act like it's positive bias, but I don't think positive bias is much of a factor with him. I think it's mostly negative bias because a lot of people are so angry at him for not reviewing movies negatively anymore. And I'm like, I don't care. But so a lot of people are really mad about Shelby Oaks. They're really mad at anyone who likes it. I got some hate for liking it, whatever. Some people were saying that like I'm biased to like Shelby Oaks because I watch Chris Stuckman's channel. And the thing is, like, I don't really watch Chris Stuckman's channel anymore. Like I tune into it occasionally, but I think it's apparent that his heart is not in YouTube anymore. And like his heart is in filmmaking. And it's pretty clear to me that he does YouTube for the paycheck at this point, which is fine. I don't care. Clearly he gets enough views, so go for it. It's all good with me. But yeah, I don't really watch his channel much anymore, but I definitely used to back in the day. And he was one of the early YouTube guys, but people are saying I only like it because I'm biased. And I'm like, well, one, I am a much bigger fan of Guillermo del Toro than I am of Chris Stuckman, and I didn't bias myself into loving Frankenstein. And I think the most obvious contradiction to that is I really didn't like this year's The Dead Thing, which was a straight to Shudder horror movie, and it's directed by Elric Kane, who's one half of the Pure Cinema podcast, and I love the Pure Cinema podcast. And I've been listening to it like since day one. And I'm a way bigger fan of Elric Kane than I am of Chris Stuckman. Like way bigger fan. But I didn't like Elric Kane's movie. But I did like Chris Stuckman's movie. So anyway, I think the discourse about that movie was very silly. But for me, it was just a creepy, simple, kind of B horror movie. Like it's not trying to be fancy and have all this social commentary. It's not some A24 thing. It's just a straightforward, creepy movie. And I got sufficiently creeped out by it. And I thought it was cool. And it's really playing in a subgenres I like. Like I like demon movies and Rosemary's Baby type thing. And specifically the demon is an incubus. And I thought that was a cool detail. Not a generic demon, specifically an incubus. And so it was just kind of my kind of thing. And I had a great time. Really creeped me out. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see. Interested in analog horror. Not particularly, but really just because of lack of exposure. I don't think I've watched very much of it. I think like a buddy of mine is a little bit more into current internet stuff, I guess, than I am. So he sends me, like, I'm not on TikTok, but I see a fair amount of TikToks because this friend sends me so many TikToks. And sometimes he sends me analog horror stuff and I'm like, ooh, that's creepy. But yeah, I haven't seen much of it. Kanan from Ghost Pirate Entertainment says that analog horror is the future of the genre and like it's going to get big in horror movies soon. So that'll be interesting if he's right about that. Ooh, yeah, I watched one of your lists mentioning Black and White Hammer film Don't Take Candy from a Stranger. I'll be watching it soon, but was this one set around Christmas? Not that I remember. I don't remember it being a Christmas movie. It's very good. It's not really a horror movie. It's much more of a thriller. And for me, it's the best Hammer thriller I've seen. It's very scary in like real life ways. Um, and it's pretty shocking for its time. And I think it's really, really good. So yeah, big fan. Oh, would you ever do a video comparing different versions of A Christmas Carol? Yeah, yeah. I don't know when. I'd have to do a good bit of research for that. And it wouldn't necessarily be easy research because I'd kind of be watching the same story over and over again. So I'm not necessarily jumping up and down for that. But one of these days I may maybe when Robert Eggers' version comes out, maybe that will be the time. I feel like I can almost guarantee that actually. That makes perfect sense. I think I'll do that. Love your farmland horror video. Would you consider doing a video about horror movies set in the woods? Yes, I'm always meaning to do that, and I still haven't gotten around to it. But that's like one of my top ideas that. Ooh, bumped my table. That's one of my top ideas that I keep meaning to do. So that will happen probably sooner rather than later. Ooh, have I seen William Friedkin's To Live and Die in L.A.? Yes. Awesome movie. So good. I talked about that in my first 80s cult movies video. I've now done 3 movies just on 80s cult films. 3 videos rather. And that was in the first one. Big fan. That movie I think I watched it for the first time this year. Yeah, I did. And it blew me away. Okay. Oh yeah, back to Shelby Oaks. It didn't look or feel like a low budget movie to me. I thought the same, and I went into it expecting something low budget because I heard it was like $1 million budget. But I think Neon put a little bit more money into it once they picked it up. But I heard a lot of people prefacing it that way and saying like, keep in mind, very low budget movie. But I think they're probably saying it for, not people like us, people who mostly go see Marvel movies. But for me, like it didn't look low budget to me at all. I thought it looked fantastic. This is one thing I think you can't deny, even if you hate it. And if you hate it, that's fine. I really don't care. But the nighttime lighting in that is beautiful. Like it is some of the most immaculate nighttime lighting I've seen in a movie in a while. Not really Chris Stuckman's fault because I'm sure that's due to the cinematographer, and I can't remember the cinematographer's name, but I know it's not Chris Stuckman. But there were some shots, like the shot outside the house when she's looking outside the house, and you see the dog, the Hound of Hell. I was like, this is jaw dropping. Like the last time I remember seeing a movie and it really stood out to me, the nighttime lighting was Sicario. Um, but yeah, it looks really good. Let's see. Where do you have Splinter in your horror ratings? This is one of my faves. I saw that for the first time this year, early this year, and I really liked it. It was a really good time. Like it's good for like, the central idea of it's interesting with the splinters and the virus, and it kind of creates a little bit of John Carpenter The Thing kind of creature design. But I love the characters. That's really where that movie really succeeded for me. Uh that's biased. Just kidding. Yeah, Shelby Oaks was well shot. Story was just not good. I would argue it's not that it's just my opinion. You can have your own opinion. It's all good. But I would argue this. It's not that the story's not good. It's that the story's very simple. It's a very simple, straightforward story. It's a small story, but I tend to like horror movies like that. And I notice very simple, straightforward horror movies tend to get bad reactions in theaters, but then they gain traction like on streaming. And I think it's because when people go to the theater, they just kind of want their minds to be blown. They want something like incredible. And that's not Shelby Oaks, But I think when people are popping it on streaming, just like, ooh, that's a good little creepy movie, I think it's going to get a much better reaction. That's just my prediction. Because for me, I kind of compared it in my head to Hellfest. I'm a big fan of Hellfest. Got a terrible reaction in theaters because it's just a straightforward slasher. Like that's it. There's nothing extra to it, but it's just a good version of it. And I kind of think that's what this is. All right, let's see. Are there enough options to put together for a New Year's themed list? If you're going general on genres, then yes. If you're going horror specific, I don't know. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is New Year's Evil. but I know there's a few others, but I'm just blanking on them. They take place around New Year's. Doesn't Terror Train take place? Isn't that a New Year's movie? I think it is. I'd have to do some digging. It's possible. Oh, let's see. Who's your favorite Scream Queen? I think it is Heather Langenkamp from as Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street. She's my favorite final girl in any horror movie ever. So I really think of them, that's the same thing. Scream Queen, final girl. So I'm going to go Heather Langenkamp. Let's see. Any foreign Christmas horror recommendations? Yeah, top one I can think off the top of my head is Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. It's a movie from Finland, and it's like a what if Santa Claus was real, but the origin of the legend was something much darker and more sinister, and what if it's going to come back to life? And it's cool. It's a cool movie. I really enjoy it. Let's see. I've actually not seen Everly. I've seen a lot of Joe Lynch movies, but not that one. But I heard it's good. I heard good things about it, so I'd be interested in checking it out. Somebody else said that to me recently. I saw that, but I don't think I've seen it since I was a kid, so I don't remember it very well. I also tend not to be a fan of that Robert Zemeckis 3D motion capture animation thing that he was really pioneering for a while. I tend not to be a big fan of it, but the way that people are talking about how it's terrifying kind of makes me want to go back to it. The most scared I can remember being by a Christmas Carol adaptation is the George C. Scott one. And it's when the Ghost of Christmas Present opens the robe and there is ignorance and want. They're so scary to me. And then also the Patrick Stewart one, when him and Jacob Marley look out the window and see all the ghosts flying in the sky. Very not scary to me now, but when I was a kid, it was pretty scary. So yeah, I love A Christmas Carol so much. It's one of the greatest stories of all time. But also I love that it's like one of the most deep and powerful and meaningful stories of all time, but it's also pretty scary. That's awesome. Yes, I did. If you check out my bonkers horror movies on Tubi list from October, I think that's the video. Yeah, I put it in that. And yeah, it's fun. Definitely campy, but cozy and fun. That's exactly what it is. And I tend to be a fan of not Christmas, kids Halloween horror movies. And that's a good example. See, what are your favorite horror film soundtrack? I'm going to assume I actually did a whole live stream on this on Davey Deathray's channel. So you can check that out if you want. See, I'm not exactly sure if you mean like strictly soundtrack or if you mean score. If we're talking score, my all-time favorite is John Carpenter's Halloween, but that's the basic answer. But also The Wolfman, Horror of Dracula, Suspiria, Nightmare on Elm Street, Coppola's Dracula. Those would all go in there. For soundtrack, Trick or Treat, the 80s one, second time we've referenced that. I'd throw that in there. But I'm not a great person at recollecting soundtracks. I will say Keeper, the new Oz Perkins movie, really good soundtrack to that. Really, really good soundtrack. That one stood out to me. Let's see. Oh, we got a $10 super chat from MavTN7. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Have you ever seen The Last Horror Movie? 2003, no. I thought that I might be thinking of a different movie though, because I'm thinking of a movie that's like a pseudo sequel to Maniac, but that might be called something else. Let me see what this movie is. Last horror movie from 2003. No, definitely, I was not what I was thinking of. It's a British found footage film. I don't know that I've heard of it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I do like one of my like dream videos for this channel that I want to do is like a comprehensive top 20 found footage horror movies list. But it's going to take a lot of research because found footage is not my natural bag. It's not what I naturally gravitate towards. So there's going to be a lot I'm going to have to check out. So I think I might have to do like a preamble to that where it's just like, 10 found footage recommendations and kind of use that to watch some. I kind of have to split up my research between videos. This is one thing I've learned because if I decide I got to watch 15 movies for this video, then that video is not going to happen. It's just not possible. So I got to find a way to break it up. So what I'm saying is I may check that out for a upcoming found footage video before I finally make it to the definitive top 20. But thank you for the recommendation. Let's see. Yes. I just noticed Adam Pello said It Follows soundtrack is great for sure. Fantastic. Fantastic score. Willock, but actually legit question. Do you believe in ghosts? And if so, have you ever had a real supernatural experience before? Yeah, I kind of love this topic. I love talking about this kind of thing. I used to be a hardline skeptic on like anything supernatural. So I would say no. I would have said no, I don't believe in ghosts. In recent years, I've become more open. So now I would say, I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but I'm very fascinated by the possibility of it. So now, like, in the past, if somebody told me if I heard somebody had a supernatural experience with a ghost, I would have immediately wrote it off. Like, yeah, sure, you imagine that. I don't write it off anymore. Now I listen to it and I take it seriously to a certain degree and find it very fascinating. Because I think I'm fascinated in general by the idea of having a supernatural experience. Because no, I have not. I've not had any kind of supernatural experience. And it fascinates me that people do. Like I do, what I will say is, I do believe in supernatural or spiritual experiences, but I don't know if they come from outside of us or if they come from within us. Meaning like it's just some kind of like response that we're having in some way. But I will say, if ghosts are not real at all, there's a lot of curious things that go on. People seem to have a lot of experiences, and like people that I know that like don't have any reason to lie to me. There's a lot of things that like, what is the explanation? I don't know. So I find the stories fascinating, but I just don't know for myself. I got another super chat from Laura. Thank you so much. I see you in the comments a lot. $5 super chat. Love your channel. Did you do a list of horror comedy movies yet? Like Love at First Bite types? I mean, I did do a horror comedy video that actually does have Love at First Bite in it. I did one for Valentine's Day last year. Like I did like horror comedies perfect to watch for Valentine's Day. And I believe Love at First Bite is in there. But I've not done like a definitive top 20 horror comedies. And that is what I want to do. I like doing those like top 20 pick from a whole subgenre videos. And I try to do one a month. I didn't technically do one for November unless you count the horror threequels. So I did that, but, I like doing those. So I will get to that eventually. Thank you so much. I do like Love at First Bite. I think it's a lot of fun. Plot twist, Daniel. All of us in the chat are ghosts. Oh no, it's like the end of, I don't want to say what movie to spoil, but yeah, there are movies that end like that. Let's see. Shane Deliver. It's alternate dimensions crossing over. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's another fascinating idea. I believe in ghosts and aliens because life is more fun if they're real. That's kind of where I'm landing, where like I like entertaining the idea of believing in things that I think are fun to believe in, but I do not want to believe in things that are not fun to believe in. There are a lot of things like that. Um, yeah, aliens is I've never been as fascinated by aliens as I am by ghosts, and I'm not sure why. But still, the question of aliens is very interesting as well. Especially like Communion, that alien movie with Christopher Walken. I watched that for the first time this year. I don't know. That's a strange movie, but something about its idea, the way it handles alien appearances was very fascinating to me. Another, I mean, it's an obvious one, but another one of my favorite movies that just like, it just like expands my brain when it comes to alien stuff is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I think that's an amazing movie. And that movie like is so philosophically interesting to me when it comes to aliens. Let's see. Yeah, I love Lake Mungo too. That movie is so scary to me. But generally, when you have a movie and people are looking at footage and notice like a ghostly appearance in the footage somewhere, that always works on me. And Shelby Oaks has some of that, and that stuff just I'm super biased in a positive direction whenever a movie does that. Oh, let's see. I've never seen The Fourth Kind. That's good to know that it's wintry. I love a good wintry movie. Let's see. What's your favorite urban or cryptic legend from yours or any other country? Well, it's got to be the most popular cryptid of America is Bigfoot for sure, and Bigfoot is another one I find very interesting, especially in Legend of Boggy Creek, which is not a great movie, I don't think, and is pretty boring. In fact, I took a nap in the middle of it when I watched it. I like watched it, like, paused, took a nap, woke up. Okay, now I'll finish it because it's like a lullaby of a movie. But that movie really captures, I don't know, a certain kind of feeling when you look at footage and you just see Bigfoot walking in the background. Like it feels very real, very creepy in that movie. But I'm not like super knowledgeable about cryptids. I usually learn about them through movies. So like I'll see a movie about them and then I'll do research on it and be like, oh wow, this is so interesting. It's so weird. I will say, I mean, I'll just tell you. So on Wednesday's video, it's on weird horror movies. It was really inspired by Keeper. I talked about Tilbury. Tilbury is a Icelandic horror movie that's in the All the Haunts BR's Severin folk horror box set. And that is about an actual Icelandic folk legend of a monster called a Tilbury. And it is the strangest, the most bizarre monster legend I've ever heard. It's so weird. So check out that video on Wednesday and I'll explain that legend to you. Oh boy. Ooh, crazy. This is another weird coincidence. Have you ever watched Altered States? I recently picked up 4K Criterion, had a good time with it. I may as well show you the Criterions I picked up. I only picked up two, and one was Altered States. So yeah, I just bought it from Barnes & Noble's Criterion sale. Have not watched it yet. It sounds fascinating. It sounds like a really, really interesting kind of movie, and I'm very excited to check it out. So I will be watching that soon. That's a Ken Russell movie, who's an interesting director. So yeah, I picked that up. And then going along with 80s sci-fi, I also finally bought Repo Man, which I have seen. And I swear, like every Criterion sale, I always mean to watch this. And I just never, no, sorry. I always mean to buy this and I just never buy it, but I finally bought it because I've been meaning to rewatch it because I haven't seen it in a really long time. So I remember it being cool. So Repo Man and Altered States, those are my Criterion pickups. Good to know you liked it though. That's awesome. We got another super chat. Thank you so much from Cole Chasing Cars. Huge fan. Wanted to see what your thoughts are on the movie Mandy. Also the one spooky movie you're most excited to show your kid when he gets older. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mandy. I think it is great. It is such a wild, weird, cosmic kind of horror movie. I talked about it in my first, I've only done two like Shudder dedicated lists, and I talked about Mandy in my first one, but Nicolas Cage, so great. I actually got to see Mandy in a theater, and that's the kind of movie that, like, I don't think a lot of people got a chance to see it in theater, but I have a little indie theater in my town, and I got to see it there. It was so cool. Great. One spooky movie most excited to show your kid when he gets older. I mean, so many of them. So I've already, I've started showing him some spooky stuff. So far, he has a really high tolerance for spooky stuff. Like, he really gravitates towards spooky stuff. So I've shown him a few things. I might just say A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm really excited to see what he thinks of that, because I think that's just the kind of movie that just holds up no matter what year you're in. But as far as like the Universal Monsters, the Hammer movies, I don't feel like I have to wait until he gets very old to show him those. He's already been exposed to those somewhat. But yeah, as far as like R-rated and such, I'll go with Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, Communion is really bizarre. Really cool. I do have a video coming. I've not seen Prophecy, but I'm really curious to watch it, and I have a video coming up that I plan to watch it for. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed Burnt Offerings. I got to see that one in a theater at one of the horror marathons that I went to. It was great. Yes, I know. But when it comes to things that, like somebody said, factuality isn't based on whether it's fun. I'm aware. But when it comes to things that like you can't really know, like ghosts, you kind of just got to make a decision whether you're going to believe it or not. And I think whether it's fun to believe in is a perfectly valid reason to pick. That's my opinion. Let's see. Oh, somebody also put this in a super chat. So I'm glad I answered it, but thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. It's very, very kind of you. Let's see. Well Luck Butt with 4.99. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Have to sign off, but thank you for this awesome hang and for your videos. They give so much joy since I found your channel. We also have a toddler sleep time. Man, toddlers are something else. He's not quite 3 yet. I hear when they turn 3, it like gets worse. But in a lot of things, he seems to be developmentally ahead. So I think he's reached the three-nager stage at this point. Oh, and it's a little exhausting. He's great. He's so fun. Love him so much. But man, he gets a little ornery. Let's see. Yeah, Mothman Prophecies. I just recently watched that. See, that's another. I tell you that I often learn about these cryptids through movies because movies are my thing. And I didn't know much about Mothman. I'd heard of Mothman, but I didn't know much about him. So I learned more about him from that movie and a little research after I watched the movie. And really cool, interesting stuff. That's just the kind of thing where like I don't know. It's the kind of stuff just kind of opens your brain up to possibilities of like, oh man, like what if it's an interdimensional being and blah blah blah, and it's kind of just it's fun to entertain the thought about that kind of stuff. Let's see. Oh, cool. I love an 80s movie soundtrack. I don't remember the soundtrack because it's been a really long time since I watched it, but I'm psyched to rewatch it. Yeah, still, even though it's been so long since I've seen Repo Man, still the number one movie that I associate Harry Dean Stanton with is Repo Man. I remember he's just so awesome in that. See, I have no recollection of this because I was so little, but my mom likes to say I had a guardian angel because I would talk to a seemingly imaginary friend, insisting they were real. Like, don't you see, mom? A lot of people have that imaginary friend experience as kids. I don't think I ever did. I don't remember ever having that. My parents have never told me that I did. So again, like I have no spiritual experiences. Um, and not like I haven't tried even, but angels I find fascinating, especially because like the way the Bible talks about them is so scary. And like, they don't get depicted as scary in like Christian artwork and such. But they tend to be described pretty terrifying. And that's one reason I'm actually really excited. I've gotten like interested in really checking out Christopher Walken and Prophecy because I believe that's about like Christopher Walken's like the angel Gabriel, but he's scary and he's like going to kill people. And I'm like, I think that's cool. I want to check that out. Oh, let's see. Oh, Bailey kept going. So much so, my parents looked into previous tenants. My mom got worried, but nothing bad ever happened. So then one day it was like they never existed. I just stopped talking about them. That seems like that's usually how it goes with kids, is they just stop talking about them. A lot of horror movies about imaginary friends for sure. Me and my me and my friend Chris, we often joke about like the typical thing in horror movies where like a little kid will show a drawing. It's like, there's mommy, there's daddy, there's me, and there's my friend. And it's just like this demon drawing. It's in so many movies, like Insidious and stuff like that. Oh man, it's a fun cliche. I also love Abbott and Costello monster movies. AV Pop Culture, how's it going, Chase? Thank you so much for dropping in. I think Chase is definitely one of the top channels that people always tell me, like, I watch your channel and AV Pop Culture and Ghost Powered Entertainment. So I know we have a lot of crossover people. Ooh, yes. Worked on the Cheddar Goblin commercial in Mandy. He even brought the Goblin to the local theater for a showing. I will never forget sitting in that theater when the Cheddar Goblin scene came on. It was so bizarre. It was so confusing. But I thought it was awesome. I just love that scene. I like it when movies just include just these really strange little details that like you don't need to explain and they don't get explained, but you just put them in there. I love that kind of thing. And that's one of the best examples. Let's see. Thoughts on The Incredible Melting Man? I like it. Yeah, it's fun. That's the, yeah. I talked about that in my second ever Bonkers horror movies list. Like that's one of those movies that's like not interesting on a story level, but it has really, really cool special effects. And it's definitely like it came out in the 70s, but it's very much an homage to like 50s sci-fi movies. So it's got a really 50s feel, even though it's like not a period piece or anything. And that makes it fun because I like 50s monster movies. Any thoughts on Children of the Corn? I think it's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. But I recently saw Children of the Corn 3 and I liked it a lot more because it's just so weird, so crazy. Legion is another one that I might watch for that upcoming video that I mentioned. Um, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't look good, but it's another like movie about like scary angels, I think. So I'm curious about it. Fire in the Sky is one I keep meaning to see. I've not seen that yet. Yeah, so that's an alien abduction film that I've got to check out. Ooh, okay. So Shane says, I remember seeing a ghost once when I was a kid. That is very interesting. Oh, let's see. Other than the Halloween franchise, which franchise could you watch beginning to end on a loop over and over? Well, technically none because I like variety too much, so I couldn't actually do that. But I know exactly, I know the spirit of what you're talking about. So Friday the 13th series, absolutely love it. That's not too far behind Halloween for me. I love the Psycho series, except for the remake, which I think is probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But all the Anthony Perkins Psycho movies, big fan. I do love the Hammer Dracula movies. I don't love them all, but they're all pretty comfortable watches, even the bad ones. So I would definitely say the Hammer Dracula series for sure. Hammer Frankenstein series 2, Universal Frankenstein series. I like a lot of horror franchises. Let's see. I've actually not watched the Hammer Horror TV series. I'm telling you, like TV shows are tough. They're tough for me. Like I've always got so many movies I'm checking out, and also I just naturally gravitate to movies much more than shows. Ever think of making letterbox list of movies for each of your videos? Technically, I do have them because I do like all my list making within Letterbox. They're just privated, and like I even like keep my notes in there, so like they're full of my notes and stuff. So I don't really, and also like I tend to like, I when I make a bonkers horror list and I want to make a second bonkers horror list, I usually just go back to the same list and I add new movies on there. So I don't really want to public all of them. I tell you what I really want to do is I would love to have a website that had a database where you could go to like every movie I've ever discussed in a video A to Z, and like it'll list every movie I've ever talked about, and you can just click on it and it'll go to the video that I talked about it in. I don't know how I could do that without it being an astronomical amount of work that I don't have the bandwidth for. So I don't know if there's like an AI program that can do that for me. I don't know, but that's like kind of the dream that I think would be cool to have one day. Oh, we got Larry from your early pod. Hey, Dan, happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you, but I am thankful for you. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I hope you have a great one with the fam. Opinion on The Damned. I liked The Damned. Maybe it came out overseas in 2024. For me, it came out early this year. I liked it. Had some creepy moments. I love the atmosphere of it. I just love movies with that kind of atmosphere. And it's one of those movies that really sells you on the difficulty of life in that time period and just how hard it was to stay alive living back then. And then also there's creepy stuff on top of it. So I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah. Dead Zone is awesome. Love it. That's one that I was super close to putting on my November list because it also has a really like November-y, chilly kind of feel to it. But I just didn't because I talked about it in a video a few months ago. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. New to the channel, have you ever done anything with Lovecraft horror? Yes, I will tell you what, I have a top 10 Lovecraft horror movies video, and it's not just Lovecraftian movies, it's actually movies that are based on specific Lovecraft stories. So you can check that out. I did that last November, actually, so it's been a year. But yeah, I've talked about The Void a few times. I am a huge fan of The Void. Absolutely love it. And I talked about Event Horizon just recently in a 90s horror video that I did just a few videos back. And I like it. I don't love it as much as The Void, but I like it. So yeah, I love cosmic Lovecraftian horror. That's a big interest for me. See, we got AV pop culture fans in the house. Ever seen Patrick Still Lives? No, but since you're saying it's a bonkers movie, I'm interested. Let me look it up. Oh, 1980. Oh, okay, cool. I love 80s horror movies, so that's kind of a boost right there. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do right now, I'll come back to the chat, but I'm going to do a little bit of fan mail unboxing. So this one I got from one of my patrons. Um, Remind myself of the name. He just signed it RH, so I'll just keep it at RH. I believe he told me it's like some CDs. So I thought it was going to be easier to open. All right, I'm going to get out my pocket knife. Talk to each other in the chat while I'm figuring this out. There we go. It's like Christmas. Okay, so. Oh, yeah, I think it's just like some. Oh, CDs are coming out. I think it's like some Halloween mixtapes that he put together. So this one is called Sleepy Hollow. So yeah, that'll be fun. Not definitely not the most. Oh, here we go. The Eerie '80s, a DJ horror mix. You got Count Orlok right there. Fun. I can't even remember the last time that I like had a CD case and I was like opening it and like, oh, look at the CD. Like for as much as I've held on to physical media with movies, I really haven't with music. I have a few vinyls, but that's kind of it. So it's kind of cool. I actually do have a CD player upstairs though, so I actually can play this. So that is cool. So thank you so much to RH. And then I got another box from Mark Bessinger. He sends me. I feel like most live streams I got a box from Mark because Mark is a guy who upgrades pretty much everything to 4K, which I respect, but I'm not really that kind of guy. So he just kind of sends me the Blu-rays. Like when you replace something with a 4K, he just sends me the Blu-ray, and I super appreciate it. I think that is so, so nice. So very thankful. Let's see what we got here. All right. Looks like we got a t-shirt in here too. I can't remember if he told me about the t-shirt or not. Maybe I'll jog my memory when I see it. Oh, he did not tell me about this. Oh my gosh. It is a Curse of Frankenstein shirt. What size is it? It's large. Perfect. How did he know? Whoa. I am just over the moon. Okay, I tell you what, when I inevitably do that deep dive review on Del Toro's Frankenstein, I will wear this in the video. No doubt about it. Thank you so much, Mark. I can't tell you how excited I am about that. All right, let's see the movies. We got Student Bodies. Always meant to see this. This is a horror comedy from the 80s, high school comedy, and I hear it's pretty fun. So it's always been on my watch list. So very excited to have Student Bodies. It's an Olive Films Blu-ray. I think Terror Vision just upgraded to 4K, so I think it's because he picked that up. Oh yeah, Excalibur, which I have seen, but it's been many years, and I would like to rewatch it. Very cool. I'm definitely interested in like the King Arthur legend. I think all that stuff is cool, and this is, yeah, I'd say it's the best King Arthur movie that I've personally seen. John Borman, good stuff. We got Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray of The Bees. Oh man, I'm always happy to get a Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, especially for free. And yeah, this is a 70s like disaster movie kind of thing with killer bees. It's starring John Saxon. And yeah, it sounds like it'll be a good time. Totally down for that. We got Pee-wee's Big Adventure just because yeah, he asked me if I had it and I actually don't, so he sent it to me. I like this movie. I like Tim Burton. I didn't grow up on this movie, so I don't have like a nostalgic attachment, so I can't say it's one of my favorite Tim Burton movies, but I do think it's good and I like it. Good stuff. Oh yeah, I'm excited for this one. Two Witches. We got the Arrow Video Blu-ray complete with slipcover. I remember hearing a lot about this when it came out, and I never ended up checking it out. I think it's kind of an anthology, but it's only got two stories, and they're both witchcraft stories. And it came out just a few years ago, maybe like 2020, 2021. Okay. So yeah, very excited. Very excited to have that. And we got Fright. This is a Scream Factory Blu-ray, actually. I don't know very much about this movie. It's starring Susan George. Let's see, teenage babysitter Amanda arrives at the Lloyd home to watch their young son for the evening. So babysitter movie. But it seems that the strangely nervous Mrs. Lloyd is hiding a shocking secret, a secret that just escaped from a nearby insane asylum and is now desperately trying to get inside the house. So this is about a babysitter who's being attacked by an escapee from a mental asylum. What year did this come out? 1971. John Carpenter, you got some explaining to do, dude. Did you rip off right? No, I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure it's very different. But sounds like a good time. We'll live some good 70s horror. And we've got Ruby. What is this? Is this one of those Exorcist ripoffs? I think it's one of those Exorcist ripoffs. It's got Piper Laurie in it. Yeah, you guys can let me know. Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't have a lot about the plot on the back. But yeah, there you go. Ruby. 70s horror movie, right? I'm trying to find the year. 77, yeah. 1977. Cool. Oh, yeah. The reflecting skin. I think this is unopened. I think he actually just bought it for me, which is very nice because he just wanted me to see it. This is one I've been meaning to see for a long time and just never got around to. I hear it's very good. Doesn't it have a famous director? No, it's written and directed by Philip Ridley. I'm not familiar with him. But it's got Viggo Mortensen in it. Cool. Yeah, hear great things about that. So there you go, Reflecting Skin. That is an epic haul. Thank you so much, Mark. You really keeping the physical media addiction alive even while I'm buying less, so I appreciate that. I'm going to scroll down and see if anybody has anything to say about these movies. Yeah, we were just talking about that, ScarJo and the new Exorcist. Personally, I'm fine with it. Fright is a pretty good thriller, very enjoyable movie with an ending that'll make your eyes roll. Oh, good. A good eye roll ending. Because one of those things that would only happen in the movies. Okay. Let's see. Has anyone mentioned that your mic audio is slightly delayed right now? Oh, okay. Now he's noticing it. All right. Let me know if anybody else is seeing the mic delay. That's too bad. Let's see. Two Witches is pretty cool. Good deal. Student Bodies is zany. Right on. Rented a lot in the 80s. Well, we got a lot of Student Bodies support here. People are going nuts for Student Bodies. So now I'm extra hyped. Also, a lot of people are happy about the shirt. Yeah, how can you not be? That shirt is awesome. It is Christmas in November. Let's see. Only seen Reflecting Skin once, but I liked it. Right on. Are you planning on checking out any Fu Manchu films? I'll say they're not high on my to watch list, but I'm open to it. I think there's a Karloff one that Warner Archive just put out, and I kind of got interested in it just because I like to pick up the black and white horror movies that Warner Archive puts out generally. So I might check that one out. Oh, let's see. Not horror, but if you checked out Arabian Adventure 1979, a fantasy adventure film with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. No, but it sounds fun. Yeah, 1979. So, I mean, Cushing especially would be pretty old by that point. And, Christopher Lee getting up there. I'm curious who I assume there's like some younger stars in there too. So I'm curious who they would be. What is the best Vincent Price film? Just pick one. Pit and Pendulum. Pit and Pendulum is my favorite. Although House on Haunted Hill would probably be number 2 for especially for massive nostalgic reasons. But I'm going to go with Pit and the Pendulum. Yeah, Ravenous is good. That's a good movie. Let's see. People think the mic delay is gone. So hopefully. Have you seen the French movie Calvaire? Ranked 28 on best Christmas horror ever made. I don't think I've ever heard of it. So that's new to me. Fall House of Usher, good choice. Abominable Dr. Phibes is one I like it, but I've never loved it like a lot of other people do. I think it's the fact that you don't get the typical Vincent Price performance and personality in that movie because he kind of can't talk, but he also has a voice box that he can kind of talk out of, but it's not quite the same, but it does have some really cool visuals and makeup in it for sure. Yeah, getting close to 100,000 subscribers. I thought it would happen by the end of the year. I'm not so sure now because after October, growth slowed way down, which is fine. Totally understandable. Actually, I've had less of a bad drop off in terms of views and stuff this year than I did last year. It's not been that bad of a drop off. So I really appreciate you guys still watching, even though spooky season is over. So the world says at least. But yeah, subscriber growth has slowed down dramatically. So I don't know that I'm going to hit 100K by the end of the year, but probably early 2026. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm going to have to figure it out, but I'm very excited about getting it because I always figure like, no matter what happens with the channel, you never know, no matter what happens, that will always be a cool accomplishment and I'll always have that plaque and it'll always be a cool thing to look back on. So I'm pretty thankful that that's probably going to happen. Thank you so much, Mark. You are the best. Super appreciate it. Is growth more important than consistent views? I mean, not necessarily because, subscriber growth doesn't equal revenue. And if you're doing this full time, like I am now, you have to think about revenue, and views do equal revenue to a certain degree. But kind of the way YouTube is if you're not growing, you're probably dying, because YouTube is constantly getting more viewership and any channel is constantly going to lose viewership. Like people are going to lose interest with you. So generally speaking, if you're not growing, that probably means the channel is dying off and it's not a good thing. Which is definitely not happening with this channel. It's just the growth of this channel was like insane in August, September, and October. And then now it's gone down quite a bit, but it's not a bad thing. It's pretty normal. Oh, let's see. Got to go to the living room, a place of honor. Gonna have to run that by my wife. We'll see what she thinks about that. Let's see. Check out Dr. Horrible's House of Horrors, Steve Coogan parodies of Hammer and Amicus films. Is that a movie? I don't think I've seen that. Oh yeah, Chase says subscriber growth, YouTube showing your videos to more people equals more views. Yeah, pretty much. Like if your channel is not growing, then that probably means YouTube is not recommending your videos to people, or it means people are checking out your videos and don't like them. So they're not subscribing, and that's not good either. So any way you look at it, if the channel's not growing, something's not going well. It's let's see. Yeah, it's not really like a vanity number. I mean, ultimately the subscriber number is kind of a vanity number. But it's not just about that for sure. Let's see. Love the live chats. Please do this more often. Yeah, I really want to do it more often. I just feel like there keeps being a reason like, oh no, I can't. I've got to watch this movie tonight because so that I can film tomorrow. But if I don't watch this movie tonight, then I can't film tomorrow. And then I can't get started editing until this day. And the video is going to be late. These are all the things I'm trying to juggle in my head. But tonight I was like, I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. It's going to be okay. It's a holiday week. Let's chill. Let's have fun. All right, let's see. I've not seen Tender Dracula. I've heard about it. I believe it was in the Peter Cushing box set that Severin put out, though I didn't buy that. I've heard it's horrible, but if you've seen it, please let me know because I'd be very curious what you think. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, Vincent Price in so many movies. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Theater of Blood, great. I assume somebody shouted out Diana Rigg because she's in Theater of Blood. Yeah, she's great in that. Oh, here's a question. What is the more exhausting cliche? The vehicle that suddenly won't start? Yeah, that one drives me crazy. Or the monster killer that gets his hand trapped in the door just as the survivors try to close it? Definitely the more exhausting cliche is the vehicle that won't start. That one drives me crazy because I'm like, there's just no reason for that to happen. Like cars generally start, especially if like you just drove it somewhere, it's probably going to start. I'm all for the monster killer getting their hand trapped in the door just as they close it because I don't know, it's just like a cool visual, like this hand like is coming at you, and it's a good spooky image. So I'm all for that. That one's good in my book. Man, I'm thirsty. Scrolling up, seeing what else folks have to say. Thank you guys so much for being so vocal. Every now and then when I do well, most of my live streams like this, just kind of Q&A, I'm like, oh no, what if they don't talk to me? But you guys always do, so I appreciate it. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. But banana corn. I just realized I hadn't been saying that name. Just watch The Void. Love it. Yeah, so good. Daniel, do you know a good place to get the Necronomicon movie? Good question. Yeah, I got it from Sloppy Second Sales. I don't know if they're still offering it, but they are a bootleg Blu-ray company. And I got no moral problem with buying a bootleg if like it's not available any other way. And that movie's just kind of unavailable, even on streaming for any price. Yeah, I bought that Blu-ray from them. It was cheap, probably around $10. It looked fantastic. Like it was a great looking transfer, and I really enjoyed checking out the movie. So I would check them out. I feel like I'm starting to lose my voice. I might have to wrap this up soon. Ooh, this is exciting. Jeffrey says, I've seen many paranormal things happen, but only in one house. See, that feels more legit to me right there. In Virginia Beach, I saw dishes stacked on my kitchen floor when nobody else was there. I saw a dresser shake violently back and forth. I feel like I'm such a scaredy cat. I can't even imagine if I just saw a dresser moving back and forth. Like that would freak me out so bad. That's crazy. And see, this is the kind of thing where like, this is why I don't feel like as much of a ghost skeptic anymore. Because people say stuff like that. And I don't know Jeffrey, but I don't know why he would roll in here and just start lying about paranormal events in a live chat for no reason. Like, I'm sure somebody could do that, but like, why? So I believe you, and that's wild. That's very interesting. Ooh, From the Dark 2014 is a great Irish vampire film. Yeah, that's another one that I want to watch because I'm definitely interested in Irish movies. Hire an intern. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Oh, let's see. Ooh, I recently picked up the Universal Monsters 30 film Blu-ray box set. I never knew the OG Monsters had so many follow-ups. Yeah, they do. There is one movie in that set. I have that set. It's right over there. It's one of my cherished possessions. There's one movie in there I've still not seen, and it's The Invisible Agent. It's one of the sequels, The Invisible Man. And so I hear it's kind of like World War II propaganda. Invisible Man is like a military spy and gets the serum to go spy on I don't know what other country, probably Germany. And it's never sounded that good to me. So I've never checked it out, especially since as I understand, it's really not a horror movie. But yeah, that's the only one I haven't watched. But yeah, most of them are good in there. Oh, let's see. I have seen Mothra. Yes. I'm not a big kaiju guy. So I thought it was like good, but it didn't make like a big impression on me. But those movies have a charm to them, even if they're not super your thing. Yeah, I have seen Together. I did talk about it in a video around the time it came out, but actually I'm talking about it again in Wednesday's video. So I'm giving you guys lots of teasers on Wednesday's video. I'm practically giving away the entire thing. I like Together. It's funny. I felt like Together and Keeper are very similar and that they're both about a couple going to a cabin in the woods and stuff happens between them. And Together is like, I think it's a better movie in terms of script and characters. Like it's just a better written movie, but it's a little less weird and crazy than I expected it to be. It's a little more normal than I expected. And Keeper Keeper is the much more bizarre film for sure. And with a more freakier movie that like freaked me out more. But yeah, I really like Together. It's like a really good horror movie about marriage, even though it's technically not about marriage, because technically the couple in it they're technically not married, which is kind of a plot point in the movie. But it still feels like it has a lot to say about marriage that I thought was interesting. I think it's good. Let's see. I've been kind of like scrolling around to see what I missed. I'm going to scroll back down and see what folks are saying. Yeah. Yeah, I felt that way too. The last 2 minutes of Together is what I expect the whole movie to me. Like not to call him out because he's great, but Cody Leach really drove up my expectations that movie was going to be like one of the craziest, disgusting body horror movies ever. Like he really sold it like that. And it wasn't that for me. Like The Substance is probably the most disgusting body horror movie I've ever seen. And Together is not, but it is good. I really liked it. Let's see. I'm glad I can make a live. Been relaxing to listen to while I've tidied up our place. That's awesome. I love to listen to content like this while I'm just like doing chores around the house. So I'm happy I could provide that. Did you see Sea Fever? Saw that one recently. I haven't. That's another one that I think Kanan from Ghost Pirate Entertainment is a big fan of, and I think he spoke really highly of it, but I haven't seen it. Ooh, Davey, Love Together and Keeper. That's awesome, dude. I feel like Davey is Davey Deathray in the house, by the way. I feel like he's a little more um critical than I am, maybe a little bit like harder to please with new horror movies. So whenever Davey likes one, I'm like, okay, that means something. Like, he doesn't get as like all excited as I do necessarily. Relationship horror's really hitting with me since my divorce. Yeah, especially Keeper, probably. I'm just thinking about watching Keeper right after going through divorce and like that movie. Together is a little bit more of an optimistic movie. Keeper is not. Let's see. Yeah, Frauika. I did watch that. That's a new Irish horror film that went straight to Shudder. Um, I didn't love it. It was a little disappointing for me. It has an amazing poster. The poster got me so hyped. It was like so my vibe. And the movie I didn't love. I actually I read an interview with the writer director, and she talked about how it's based on certain like Irish folk legends. That's why it's a folk horror movie that she heard about when she was a kid. But she specifically did not do any further research on those legends like as an adult when writing the movie. She just used her childhood memories because she wanted to feel like a childhood horror or something like that, which is weird because the movie's not about kids. And I actually think that was a mistake because one thing I felt about it is all of the horror feels like underexplained in a bad way. That by the end of the movie, I'm like, okay, like, but what was this? Like, what happened? Like, what's going on? And it kind of makes sense that like she based it on very vague memories she had when she was a kid and didn't expand on it at all. And I felt like that was kind of a mistake. Um, some people liked it a lot more than I did. I have a friend actually who loved it, but yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan of it, unfortunately. Oh, let's see. Yeah, what is the best divorce horror movie? Probably Possession. I would agree. I mean, as someone who's never been divorced, humble brag. Um, I don't technically know, but Possession, the way I described it in a video recently, is like I feel like that filmmaker, like in the filmmaking, his goal was to make you feel as bad as it feels to be going through a divorce, which is why everything is so heightened to an extreme. Because he just, like if you watch someone going through a divorce, you're not necessarily going to feel what it feels like to go through a divorce. But I feel like Possession's trying to make you feel that. And it's like an assault of a movie, but it's great. I love Possession. Let's see. Oh, Mark said, Daniel, I've got to get an early start a vacation trek. Oh, that's exciting. Have fun on vacation. So I'm going to bolt. Have a great Thanksgiving. You too. See you in the next chat. Absolutely. Thank you so much for dropping by, Mark. I haven't seen that. I've heard you talk about it several times, but I've not gotten around to it. But I bet I would enjoy it. Have you seen Beyond the Gates? That's my favorite, like, love letter to 80s VHS video stores movie. But that one I haven't seen, so I need to. What's your favorite movie posters? I mean, it's hard to beat like the classics. I mean, like Halloween, original Star Wars, and Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. The whole original Star Wars trilogy. The Wrath of Khan poster, I love. It's so awesome. Um, what else do I love? Oh, I love the Mummy. The Mummy poster, which I have hanging right there, the Karloff the Mummy. That's my favorite Universal Monsters poster. So many great ones. What's your wife's favorite horror movie? I'm not sure if she's not a big like pick favorites kind of person. I don't know if she's ever declared it to me. But she also loves Fright Night. I mean her two favorite movies are Back to the Future and Dead Poet Society. But as far as what's her top favorite horror movie, I'm not sure. She often watches my live streams. So, Stephanie, if you're watching, you should go ahead and type in your favorite horror movie. People want to know. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I love the Pit and the Pendulum poster. I agree. And the Mask of the Red Death poster. Um, those are probably the best two posters of that series. House on Haunted Hill poster. Oh, so good. So good. You know, a poster I have hanging over there, kind of a random pick, but and now the screaming starts. It's a 70s Amicus haunted house movie. Great poster. I love having that thing hung up. Let's see. Ooh, Chase also loves Beyond the Gates. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a good time. Yeah, Dead Poet Society is awesome. Yeah, Con. That's one thing that people may not know about me because I don't talk about that kind of movie very much on the channel. But Wrath of Khan, one of the best movies ever made. Like I am a just I do love Star Trek in general, though I haven't seen like every TV show. But I think Wrath of Khan is one of the best movies of all time. I love that movie so much. Oh yeah, Amicus and Cobwebs, absolutely. Although Amicus did make one of my least favorite horror movies I think I've ever seen, which is The Beast Must Die. Oh, it's so bad. But I love And Now the Screaming Starts. Whoa, here she is. There is my lovely wife, Stephanie. And she says Hellfest or Devil's Candy. Yeah, Hellfest is big with us. We usually watch Hellfest every Halloween season, although we didn't this Halloween because I was just so busy trying to keep up with the channel as much as I could. But yeah, we love that movie and Devil's Candy. Great stuff. All right, let's see. Scrolling through, seeing what else I missed. I've not. I just recently watched my first Jean Roland movie, which I talked about in a video recently, which was The Living Dead Girl. Um, yeah, Jean Roland is not quite my vibe, but I did like Living Dead Girl, so I'm open to checking out more of his stuff. Oh, thank you, Robert. Daniel, you have a great talking voice. You should read books for Audible. I read books out loud all the time now, but it's because I'm reading them to my kid. So I read him books all the time. If I could ever start that as a side hustle, like reading audiobooks, that'd be cool. That would be fun. Definitely don't have time for it now, but maybe like when kids are in school and such. Um, I had something else that I was going to say on that. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's getting late. But thank you for the compliment. Considering the current boom of YouTubers making movies, have you ever considered writing or directing your own project? Um, no, I really don't have any directing aspirations. And I did get like because I like Shelby Oaks, people coming at me like, "Oh, you're just trying to get into the industry and direct your own movie." Like, no, I'm really not. Um, I'm just I think like my in the film industry dream has always been a film historian. Like that's kind of always what I wanted to do is just like study films of the past and discuss them and analyze them. That's always been my passion. I would say like I'm much more interested in the art that other people create than the art that I would create. I don't know. I don't know why. Plus, like, I'm also very unattracted. I think I've talked about this on a live stream before, but I'm very much not attracted to the lifestyle of filmmaking because, like, you often have to be away from home a lot. You have to work really long days. It's really hard work. And I like being at home and I like being with my family. Now, if I were to be involved in a movie, I'd probably just want to act and just like do a small role. And I think that'd be fun. Like I was an actor all through high school. Like I did theater constantly. So if I got to do just like a little bit of acting, that would make me happy. That would be fun. Oh, let's see. Dude, I love your channel. That is a badass picture. I love that. Dude, I love your channel and your recommendations. After finding the Cobweb channel, I've discovered so many cool movies I've never watched. Thanks for awesome videos. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. That's why I do it. What's your preferred size for a poster? 27 by 40. But actually that, and now the Screaming Starts poster is, I believe it's a 30 by 40 and it's printed on cardstock. It's a particular kind of poster they used to make back in the day. And I have two of them. They're both from the 70s. I have it now the Screaming Starts and Cry of the Banshee. I was able to get them from a vendor at one of the marathons that I went to. And they're really, really cool. And the frames were kind of hard to get, but worth it in the end because they look really cool on the wall. I would totally do that. Yeah, can you a cameo in the next movie by Chase? I bet I could bully him into that. Yeah, I could get him to let me in. That would be fun. Oh, let's see. I say it often and check out Oh, I know. People tell me this all the time, and I keep forgetting to get around to it. I do need to watch some Pete Walker movies. I always say I've seen one Pete Walker, um, just House of Long Shadows. But as I understand it, that movie's not really representative of his normal kind of movies. Daniel stars in the next Terrifier. See, like I can act. I don't think I'd be a particularly great, like realistic actor, but I can ham it up, you know? I can be enthusiastic. So in a small, right kind of role, I think I could do good. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that. If when I do another one, I'm going to drag all my YouTuber friends into it. Oh, I'm in. That'd be great. I'm so pumped for it, dude. I've been pumped for it ever since I found out that I can't remember his name, but Corey Cunningham. What is Corey Cunningham's name? The guy who plays Corey in Halloween Ends. I've been so excited ever since I found out that he's playing Billy because that is just pitch perfect casting. I cannot think of anybody that would be a better Billy than him. So yeah, and I've heard good things about it coming out of festivals, really good things. I'm a little bummed that my Christmas horror videos coming out early December, or technically at the end of November. But it's not going to include that movie because it's not coming out until mid-December. But I can do another video on Christmas horror and talk about it then. Yes, Rowan Campbell. I love Rowan Campbell. I thought he was so good in Halloween Ends. Not now. I'm losing my voice talking on this for 2 hours and 10 minutes. So not now, for sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, I could get killed by Art the Clown. That would be a good role for me. I'll get murdered. Oh, let's see. Oh no, I haven't seen Dangerous Animals yet. I hear it's great. I think the problem is like I missed it in theaters and then I had to wait a long time for it to come to streaming. And once it hit streaming, it was like spooky season. And I just didn't feel like watching a shark movie in spooky season because that feels like a summer movie. But by now it doesn't matter as much. And I will watch it for sure before I do my end of year ranking. So I'll for sure watch it at least by then because I do absolutely want to watch that. I am a fan. Yeah, I dig it. I talked about it in my last Halloween movies video this last October. It's a good time. Yeah, Living Dead Girl is I don't know, it's like it kind of casts like a bit of a spell on you, but also it's like so sick in certain ways that like I don't know, there's something really cool about it. It's just like a really weird, cool, gross vibe. I liked it. Ooh, he's listing or TV Girl is listing Irish horror movies: Dead Meat, Boy Eats Girl, Isolation, You Are Not My Mother, Citadel, Shrooms, and Wakewood. I've only seen Wakewood, which is actually technically a Hammer movie, but I've not seen the rest of them. So thank you for the recommendations. Yeah, I am a fan of Star Trek. I grew up on the original series because my dad is a diehard fan of the original series. So I always grew up on that. Loved those. Also grew up on some TNG. I like TNG. Anytime I've like watched TNG as an adult, I always really like it, but it's so long. I've like never had time to watch all of it. I like some Voyager, not watched a lot of it, and then haven't seen much else. I think I watched a little bit of Deep Space Nine, but I'm a big fan of the movie franchise for sure. Wrath of Khan by far the best, like not even close. But I like almost every Star Trek movie. I think the only Star Trek movie I just flat out dislike is Generations. And a lot of that has to do with what they do to Kirk. It's not a good way for Kirk to go out. Not a fan of that. But I think every other Star Trek movie I at least like to some degree. Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. As Sphinx. I have that on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it yet. Do you have spooky decor all over your house or just this room? Or is that werewolf doll from the Munsters? No, that werewolf doll is just Lon Chaney Wolfman, but he's just like a caricature version. I've had him ever since I was a kid. I love him. I don't have it all over my house, just here in the, excuse me, just here in the basement, except for during the Halloween season. We have spooky decor upstairs during Halloween. I want to do more sci-fi lists. Yeah. I really don't know how that would perform because it's interesting to learn like what topics people want from you and which ones they don't. And I've never done a sci-fi dedicated video, but I would like to do that and see how it goes. Let's see. See, I can't wait for Christmas horror movies. I only tried a few. My birthday's in December, so I need to keep it a little spooky. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. Clearly, a lot that I still need to see for sure. The Flesh Eaters from 1964. I don't think I've ever heard of that. 1964. I'm going to Google this real quick. Okay. That looks fun. I'll look into it. Yeah, that sounds fun. Thank you. Let's see. What is your cat's name? I have two cats. I have an orange tabby named Brewster, named after Charlie Brewster and Fright Night, of course. And then I have a black cat named Poe. Good boys. I haven't seen the mean one. I always been kind of curious about it, and I watched the trailer the other day, and I was like, oof. Like, it really did not look good. So I would advise maybe like check out the trailer. I don't know. I feel like if I watch it, it's gonna have to be with my friend Chris. I feel like that's the only way I'm gonna be able to sit through the mean one because it looks rough, but I think we could have a good time. Chris is my friend that I always watch those Pooniverse movies with. So we watch like the Winnie the Pooh movies and Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare together. Haven't watched Bambi the Reckoning yet, but we'll see if we get to that. I don't like those movies. I could only watch those with him. We got Spilled Brains. Hey, good to see you. Best giant insect movie for me, it's Them, 1950s. I really like Them. I think I'd have to go with Tarantula. I really like Tarantula. It's fun. It's just a really fun movie. Ooh, Colin says Dangerous Animals might be my favorite movie of the year. Yes, even over Weapons and Together. Awesome. Awesome. I love that Jai Courtney is like kind of reclaiming his career because he was getting pushed for a while as like generic leading man and he wasn't good at it. But it seems like with this movie and Suicide Squad, it's been discovered that like, oh, he's actually a quirky weirdo character actor, and that's actually where he shines. And I love that. I think that's cool for him. That's great. Looks like Davey Deathray is also a fan of Dangerous Animals. Cool. Great needle drops on the soundtrack. That's awesome. Oh, easily my favorite Hammer actress is Barbara Shelley. Oh, I love Barbara Shelley. She is just wonderful, especially in The Gorgon, Rasputin the Mad Monk. Super underrated Hammer movie. Really underrated performance by her. She's awesome. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, it will for sure. Oh, let's see. Oh, hey, yeah, if you want to chat about it on a live stream or something, yeah, just let me know. Sasquatch are real. I honestly, I would love to believe it. That's another thing that like I think that would be cool. That'd be cool if Sasquatch were real. So I'm down. Oh, let's see. Thank you, Spilled Brains. I appreciate that. Ooh, yeah, Presents. I'm curious about it. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say it's not really a horror movie, but kind of like an emotional haunted house movie, and I'm into it. I'll check it out. I have a female black cat that adopted me and my wife named Kiwi. She's a perfect little girl. Oh, that's great. Both my cats are boys, and oh, they're something. It'd be nice to have a perfect little girl cat. That would be nice. Let's see. I'm going to be setting up a Christmas horror marathon for my friends soon. Oh, cool. I think I'm doing Dial Code Santa Claus, A Christmas Horror Story, Rare Exports, and It's a Wonderful Knife. I still haven't seen It's a Wonderful Knife. I do want to watch that. But I co-sign all the rest of those. Yeah, good choices. I watched that last year. Was not super big fan of it, so it's not going to be on my Christmas horror list. Oh, somebody else shouted it out. It's great, so bad it's good. Slasher was plagued by production problems. Very low Christmas vibes in that. Like it's got the guys dressed up as Santa Claus, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what this is. The Last Will and Testament of Rosalind Lee. Is that a horror movie? I'm not sure about that one. You know what movie I saw a trailer for before Keeper when I went to theaters? It's this new movie with Amanda Seyfried. I think it's something to do with like Anna Lee, like the legend of Anna Lee or something. I'm gonna look it up. It looks wild. What is that? Okay, I don't think that's the name. Let's see. I'm gonna look up Amanda Seyfried. But it's like a folk horror movie. Here it is, The Testament of Anne Lee. So it looks like a folk horror film, but I'm not sure if it's technically horror. But it's like it's about this real. It says at the end like based on the real legend of Anne Lee, and I was like, what is this? And I looked it up, and she was some kind of religious leader who I think built a cult around the idea of shaking. It's like these people who like violently shake from like the spirit or whatever. And it looks super weird and trippy, but like perfect folklore kind of vibe. And I was like captivated by the trailer. I thought it looked so interesting. Yeah, yeah, not The Housemaid. The Housemaid actually, my wife just read the book, so we'll probably watch the movie together. But yeah, no, it's the Testament of Anne Lee, and it looks freaking wild. Not a big fan of Scrooged, mostly because I don't buy Bill Murray's transformation in that at all. Like by the end, when he's like, "Oh, I'm a good person now," it feels so disingenuous to me. Like he feels just as bad as ever, and just all the emotion and sentimentality of the story is like gone in that version. It does not vibe with me. Not a big fan of it, unfortunately. Have you ever wanted to write a horror screenplay or anything else filmmaking related? No, not really. I'm interested in writing something, but I think if I wrote something, it would be nonfiction and it would just be a book about movies, about film history or something like that. So I would love to write some kind of film related book, but it would be nonfiction about movies of the past. What's your take on Devil Doll? Yeah, I liked it. It's a good time. Um, I love ventriloquist horror, and it's a good old fashioned black and white horror movie. It's interesting. So if you're thinking about blind buying it, so the Vinegar Syndrome release has an unrated cut that has nudity in it, and I was pretty curious about that because it's an old black and white horror film from the '60s. I'm like, oh, it's got nudity. That's wild. So I watched it. Man, the the nudity that it has is so uncomfortable. Like it's a bizarre inclusion. It's not like Friday the 13th nudity or something. And like, I was like, wow, they really put this in the movie. Like, I understand why it got cut. It's really strange. So yeah, I mean, check it out. Check it out for that, I guess. But I do like the movie. Uh, you mentioned my baby girl this live stream, and that'll be in circulation forever. You get a like, sir. Oh, that's great. Oh yeah, Jaden. Somebody else mentioned that. I don't think I've heard of it. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, Jack Frost. That's on my Christmas horror list. That movie's fun. I said like for Christmas horror movies, I definitely bias towards the fun ones, and Jack Frost is a perfect example. What? Chase likes the mean one better than Terrifier 3. What's going on, dude? I mean, I can't argue because I've never seen the mean one. So I'll have to watch it. Trailer didn't do it for me, but yeah, maybe the movie is better. That's wild. Let's see. Ever do a video on SOV horror movies? Probably not anytime soon because I don't tend to be into that kind of stuff, and I haven't seen a lot of it, so I'd have to watch a lot before I could do it, and I don't know if I want to put myself through that. But I imagine, knowing myself, that interest will come. Like eventually, I'll be like, yeah, I kind of want to check out a lot of these SOV horror movies, and I'll probably do it then. But I don't feel like that now, so I'll have to wait and see. Have you ever seen Black Devil Doll from Hell? It's one of the weirdest bad movies ever made. That is a wild premise. Never seen it. No. Do you drink beer or any alcohol while watching movies? Do you prefer viewing sober? Pretty much never while watching movies. I'm a moderate drinker. I like to have a drink with dinner, but I very rarely drink after dinner. So, sometimes I think like, oh, I'm gonna settle down and watch a movie. Like I could grab a beer right now, but I never feel like drinking by that point in the night. Like I always have my water bottle here. So I really enjoy a cocktail or a beer with dinner, but then that's usually pretty much it. Unless I'm like, hanging out with friends for a whole night or something like that. Let's see. One of my oldest memories is seeing a film about aliens who look like humans. There's a scene where they're walking through a drugstore and are drinking Lysol. Do you know this film? Except for the look like humans thing, the first thing I thought of was Mac and Me. When all the aliens are walking through the grocery store, but I don't think that's it. Um, no, I don't think so. I'm always curious whenever people a lot of times comment on my videos and they'll describe a whole movie from their memories and ask if I've seen it. It always feels really good when I do know what movie it is, but most of the time I don't. And they sound interesting, and then I'm curious too. What do you think of the remake of Magic produced by Sam Raimi, and who would you cast? Um, I actually did not know that was happening. I've actually never seen Magic. It's featured in one of my videos, but it was a collab video, and the Maniac from the Maniac YouTube channel talked about it, and I've never personally seen it. That's one of the top horror classics I need to see. Generally, I'll say generally I like movies produced by Sam Raimi. So so I'll watch the original first. Like I'll tell you, I will definitely not watch that movie before I watch the original, but I'm curious. But I also recently saw a trailer for a new Sam Raimi movie. It's coming out in January. Can't remember what it's called, but it's starring Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, and it looks cool. I mean, anything Sam Raimi does, I will watch. Like I don't really have to be sold on it by a trailer, but still, I thought it looked good, and I'm looking forward to it. What's your take on the meaning behind weapons? You know that it's esoteric. Oh, I mean, for sure, it's is it time? Oh, okay. I was so confused for a second. I saw all these people typing in send help, and I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? That's the movie, the Sam Raimi movie. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. That was a very confusing couple of minutes. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I guess I shouldn't say what the subgenre is because the movie really keeps its subgenre a secret. I think most people probably know by now, but I was hyped when I saw that it's that kind of movie. I thought it was awesome. However, like meaning behind it, I don't know how deep you want to go. I think it's a movie without a lot of deeper meaning. I don't think it has social commentary to it. Most horror movies these days too. I don't think it's really trying to say anything like about the world at large. The only moment that kind of calls that into question is the AK-47 that shows over the house in the dream sequence. And I'm not totally sure what that means, except that I even think the title is not a great title. Um, I'm not sold on exactly what the title is. I think the kids are the weapons, and I think that's the idea, but I don't really know why we needed that visual. So that's the only moment of the movie that I'm like, I'm not sure I get it, but there's probably some brilliant person that has a great interpretation of it. So it probably means something great, but I'm not positive at this point. Let's see. Hello, another person from let's see, JMS and Sadler from Seattle, another person from a famous city. I know you like Mexican horror, so if you haven't seen it, you need to see Curse of the Doll People. A lot of doll movies people are shouting out. Wonder if creep black and white horror movie, you're gonna love it. Cool. I'm gonna look that up. Curse of the Doll People. Wonder if it's streaming anywhere. I'll have to look it up. Sometimes those old Mexican horror movies are hard to find. That's why I cherish that box set I have so much, but they haven't released a second one yet. Oh, let's see. I can't remember if any aliens drink Lysol in the Hidden, but I do like the Hidden. So that's a good call. Circus of the Dead. Ooh, I haven't seen it, but it sounds like you liked it. So that sounds cool. Let's see. Did Sam Raimi produce Locked? Is that what he was involved in? I didn't watch Locked. I know he didn't direct it, But did he produce it? Maybe. Yeah, Sentinel. I don't know if it's technically a horror movie, but I really don't care. With Sam Raimi, I'll check it out. I've never been to a horror convention. Really want to. You know what? I should make that a goal for 2026. I know my buddy Chris would be totally down to do it, so he can just do it with me. Yeah, maybe we'll attend one in 2026. That'd be great. How do you find time to watch so many movies when you have a kid? I have a 5-year-old to watch mostly Bluey. Well, it does help that I do this full time at this point. But usually, how it always is I watch 1 to 2 movies at night after he goes to bed. Um, and then some nights I don't, and I just hang out with my wife. But most nights I come downstairs and I watch 1 to 2 movies, whatever I have time for, and that's mostly how I do it. I generally talk about 20 movies a week because I'm usually doing 2 videos a week, talking about 10 movies in each. I'm not actually watching 20 movies a week. I pull from my knowledge from what I've seen in the past. So pretty much all my lists are a mix of things I just checked out and things I've seen in the past that I just thought, would be interesting to talk about also with them. So that's pretty much it. It's not anything crazy. I don't spend all day watching movies. I definitely can't because even though I do this full time now. One, for 2 to 3 days a week, I'm just a stay at home dad because that's when my wife works. She works 2 to 3. She works 3 days a week, but usually grandma takes him one of those days. So usually about 2 days a week, I just take care of him all day. And then my work days are bulk of my work days are editing. Like the editing takes up a lot of time and the filming. So usually the movie watching is always in the evenings. Anyway, let's see. I heard Zach Kreger say he came up with the flying AK, thought it was cool, and just left it in stream of consciousness kind of thing. There you go. You know what? I kind of respect that. I kind of like that Zach Kreger is that kind of creator. Like I've heard him talk somewhat about the movie, and he talked about how he was just like, well, I got to make another movie after Barbarian. So he's like, I got to write something. And he just thought of the idea of like, okay, kids run out of their house all at the same time. Where did they go? And he just kind of answers that question throughout writing a movie. I kind of respect it when they're just like coming up with a story, and it's not like a super deep thing. That's honestly how Weapons struck me as like, it's just a story. I didn't think it had any deeper meaning to it. And it sounds like that's probably the case. And I think that's cool. I'm all for deeper meanings in movies, but I don't think every movie needs it. Let's see. Asked you before, but you should do a top 10 worst movies by usually great directors. Argento's Dracula. Problem with that is I'd have to watch Argento's Dracula. I've never watched it. It looks so horrible. I always think about like doing a top 10 worst movies list, like worst horror movies. Haven't done it yet, but it's always like in the back burner. I'm always thinking about doing it. That is a good example though. Like I'd say John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. I hate that movie. And Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. Some people like Swamp Thing. I do not like Swamp Thing at all. What else would be in there? I'm trying to think, like, is there any Tobe Hooper movies I really don't like? I think, like, I haven't seen some of his later movies, so maybe I can't think of a Tobe Hooper movie I hate. But yeah, there's some other ones like that. Hello from Connecticut. We got another Daniel in here. Daniel Flynn. That's badass. That's like Errol Flynn. That's awesome. Let's see. There's an AA symbol in the opening title, and Zach has been in AA, but I don't think it goes much deeper than that. There you go. Yeah, I agree. Like I think the kids are the weapons, and that's the title. But I still think it's like I still don't think that's the best title. I think there could have been a better title. And that's like the only thing I have anything to complain about with Weapons. Otherwise, I just love it. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely what it's about. And it's not the only horror movie about that. I can think of another horror movie that came out this year that's also about that. Although I don't want to say for spoilers, but yeah, it's an interesting idea. And it did visually look good. So I guess he's right. It was interesting. And it was a dream sequence, so it doesn't like it all need to make perfect sense when it's a dream sequence. Yeah, I agree. Oh, let's see. Christmas Comes to Willow Creek. Sounds like a Bigfoot movie, but I'm guessing it's not. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. It sounds interesting though. Okay, Sam Raimi produced Locked. There you go. Yeah, I'm yeah, I was turned off by the premise of Locked just because it's about one guy sitting in a car, and I was like, I just don't feel like watching a whole movie of a guy sitting in a car. Although I have seen. Wait a minute. I think I'm. Am I thinking of the wrong movie? No, I'm thinking of the right movie. Okay, cool. That is Locked. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound super entertaining, but that's another movie. Kanan from Ghost Byron Entertainment really loved it. Oh, let's see. How long do you wait before rewatching a movie? It totally depends. It depends on what I feel like, pretty much. So yeah, there's absolutely no rule to that. How many movies do I watch a week? Probably about 9, 8 to 9, I would say, something like that. Because like I usually one per night. Sometimes I watch two. Sometimes I don't watch any. So it's probably about 9. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I saw Funny Games back in the American one. I've never seen the original. I saw Funny Games back in high school. And yeah, I didn't like it, but I was in high school and I was dumb. So it could be great. I don't know. Let's see. Dude, I would love to hang out and watch movies all weekend, but I generally don't. My weekends generally packed with my kid, just like taking care of him, because he's always wanted to be played with, always want to do something. So just hanging out all weekend, just watching movies. That sounds fun. Let's see. Yeah, it's really weird that Barbarian's not released on physical media. Like I was talking to a friend about it the other day, and he mentioned that Barbarian was a straight to streaming movie. And I was like, no, it wasn't. It went to theaters. I saw it in theaters. That's what makes it even weirder that's not on physical media. Like he just assumed it was a streaming movie because it's only on streaming. But no, it's like it's a very rare wide theatrical release movie that nobody bothered to put on physical media. Even weirder because it's a horror movie, and I think it's fair to say by far that horror fans are the most ravenous physical media consumers. Like, I don't think any other genre compares to how much horror fans buy unnecessarily extravagant physical media. So it's just so weird. Yeah, Toby Hooper, that's Eaten Alive, which I'm not a big fan of, but I don't think I would put it on a list of like worst movies or anything. Like it's not bad, but I'm not a big fan of it personally. Absolutely, I would consider Jacob's Ladder a horror film. Yeah, it's got it's not just creepy visuals, but it's got incredibly influential visuals for horror movies to come. That head shaky thing. I mean, so many horror movies have used that. Yeah, I've heard Toby Hooper's Crocodile is bad. I've never watched it. What is a movie everyone loved that you didn't like at all? See, I wouldn't say don't like at all, but I guess, we were talking about The Descent, and The Descent is one that I've never gotten into. Like I'm not going to say like I don't like it at all, but it's never done much for me really. So I guess I would go with The Descent. I've heard that about Buried, and I think like single small location movies, like I have a bias against them. So like Buried is another one that like I've never felt any desire to watch because it's just a guy in a coffin. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. So I don't know. It's just a personal bias I have. I don't not attracted to movies like that. Have you ever done a movie marathon at home? Absolutely, I have. Yeah. So I always do a movie marathon every October, and for 3 years I've done it at an actual movie theater, but other years I've just done it at home. This year I did it at home with some friends. We didn't watch that many. We watched, I think, 7, and then we watched one the next day. So we kind of over 2 days watched 8. So it wasn't huge, but I have done a 24-hour marathon down here in the basement once, like for one October with people. And it was honestly not a good idea. And I would not do that again. I wouldn't recommend it. But like 9 movies straight in a whole day, that's a good day. I would recommend that. Oh yeah, I like 976 Evil. I talked about that in my first 80s cult movies video. It's fun. It's just like feels like quintessential good old 80s horror. It's a good time. Yes, I love Red Rock West. Um, yeah, Nicolas Cage, neo noir. That movie's cool because it came out in the 90s, but like it could have easily been made in the 50s. Like it feels like such a classic noir film, and so good. Oh yeah, family over movies for sure. Yeah, not even close. Let's see. What about movies you watched thinning it would be a normal genre, but then thinking it would be a normal genre, but then pivots to something you were not expecting. Gosh, there's a lot of movies like that. I'm having trouble thinking of one off the top of my head, like a genre switch. Oh, one of my favorite genre switch movies is Jonathan Demme's Something Wild. That's one of my favorite movies ever. It's so, so good. But it's like half to two-thirds a romantic comedy, and then it suddenly turns into a really intense, really violent thriller. And I'm amazed at how well it pulls it off. Like it's seamless and it's amazing. That's one of my favorite movies. Let's see. What's your favorite movie or box set in your collection if you have one? I would say my favorite box set in my collection is my Universal Monsters box set. The whole 30 film collection. Love that thing. Gotta have it. I'm making a bulk buy of all the big screen horror movies of 2025 plus a little more. I'm a bit excited. Like on physical media, that's fun. You're gonna have a great time. That's awesome. Or movies that a reputation you were able to avoid major spoilers for months or years until you watched it were still surprised or appreciated. I did. I will say I was able to watch The Sixth Sense without having it spoiled. And I was a little kid when it came out, so I didn't see it when it came out. I didn't see it till years later. But I did not know the end of The Sixth Sense, and I got to experience that organically, and that was great. Very thankful for that. One movie that I did know the twist, but I still really liked it is Orphan. Really like Orphan. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard not to have that spoiled, but still really enjoy the movie. It didn't really hurt the movie for me. I agree. Yeah, Toby Hooper movies, they just have this energy. They're just really fun. Yeah, like The Mangler. I hadn't seen Jacob's Ladder until this year. I finally watched it and I did not love it like I hoped to. I appreciated it and it was interesting, but I didn't love it. Man, I should probably wrap this up soon. I've been going, this is one of my longest live streams. I've just kept going, going, going. Let's see. I'm just skipping through real quick, seeing if there's anything I definitely want to get to. What's a movie you know is objectively bad, but you like it anyway? I don't know if I would say objectively bad, but I always say like one movie I love, but I know it has a lot of issues, is The Wraith. The Wraith from the 80s with Charlie Sheen. I talked about it in an 80s cult movies video. And I love that movie, but like that script has so many problems. like Charlie Sheen he's the hero of the movie. He's not even in it very much. There's so much stuff with side villains that's so weird. It's confusing. It's a mess, but I really like it. I just think it's a really, really fun vibe. So that's one I would throw out there. Let's see. Thank you, Phantoms Kitten. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Silver Bullet, one of my favorite movies. Oh, I love it so much. So great. I don't know if you are in the minority about that, about liking Barbarian better than Weapons. I don't know which one is more popular, to be honest. I think either way, you're right. Like they're both really good. I would go Weapons, but if somebody said Barbarian, all good. I think that's a good choice. Yeah, it's really, really good. I have one friend who really didn't like Barbarian. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, nobody doesn't like Barbarian. What are you talking about? Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting. I really appreciate it. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out. So thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate you. Thank you for the super chats. That's awesome. And this was a good time. Hopefully, it won't be too much longer until we do it. But for those of you who are Americans, happy Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday. I don't know if anybody outside of America just decides, I'm going to celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm just going to have a big meal with family and it'll be a good time. I respect it if you do. But yeah, thank you all, everybody. Let's have a good holiday season, and I will see you next time. Bye.